Wow.
So are you ready? Right now, I don't even give the item to myself. Back to back right now. The RNG is hot. Are you ready?
Okay, go.
Fuck, here we go. Please. Yo, yes! It could work. You wet poo. Are you kidding me, man? Even when you roll 91, you buff wet poo. Unbelievable. Unbelievable, dude. Call soda.
Okay, hey, so I just heard you talk about not resin gear. Let's talk about that.
What? Yeah, I didn't res anything for myself or for you.
I understand.
I was thinking about resing you Hand of Rag.
Okay, but you should hit res me Hand of Rag. That's absurd.
The thing is, who do you roll? It's you and one
I bet
shaman.
The warriors would want it. The shamans would want it.
We'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do.
I mean,
we'll see what we can do.
It's a feral prio weapon. I don't think that's like a streamer.
Yeah,
this guy's ego's crazy. I don't think it's a debatable thing. That's a streamer prioed weapon. Or feral prioed weapon. Just saying. I'm CC'd. Fuck it, just kill me. I don't. Oh.
I can't heal. The tank got MC'd. Ah, he's dead.
Easy
clean.
first boss.
Clean kill, guys. Good job.
Excellent.
Worst kill I've ever seen in my life. All right, did we get anything good? We got literally nothing good.
We got some double tier for me. I need both for both specs. Go ahead and give it to me.
All right, Soda, do you have a big roll loaded up right now, or do you want me to roll out the Thomas Frank shot first?
No, go ahead.
All right. Druid, Rogue, War, go. Fast. It's a big one.
Fuck!
Bro.
I rolled the second pair after that. Now I've got the big roll queued up.
You got the big one? Oh, shit. It goes to... Wait, it goes to the off tank. Grono Tower, right?
Yeah, I think so. But you gotta roll off the other gloves.
I don't know, man. Let's see.
Well, that's it? Oh,
bro.
I hate wet poo. I hate wet poo and everything he stands for.
Dude, am I getting Mage Blade today, bro?
No, another mages, though.
You think so? You think Stars is getting it? Dude, what is this? We're owning. Oh, this might be one of the cleanest MC pugs.
Wow.
Oh.
Damn, QSR dropped.
Holy. My
Mage Pants.
God. Am I winning the Mage Pants straight up? All right.
Okay, I'm waiting.
Okay.
Yeah, wet poo is... Yeah. I hate this guy. Kick him.
Nice. No. I think you sent it. You sent it.
God damn
Fuck! The guy yoinked it, man. Fuck! The shaman gets it, bro. He joined late to the race.
I rolled a 3 and a 6. I'm rolling a 9 next. I'm fucking dividends of 3. I fucking hate these people getting loot.
I'm about to join them. Listen, so that you did a mistake, bro. You didn't launch the streamer client. This is how you do it. All right?
Okay, go ahead.
There it is. Never mind.
Oh, it's gone.
It's over.
Damn it. I can't mana pot.
I can't heal the off tank. Oh, thank God.
You got him.
Okay.
Wow. Ugh.
Oh, what is this?
I don't like wet poo. Kick him out of the raid.
Is that my 52 into a 54?
Oh, let's complain about your 50s compared to my 3s and 6s.
I mean, we're both losers at the end of the day. It doesn't really matter how much we lose, but...
This might be a hard res next week. Everything.
Next week we might have to just run it back.
Wait, hold on. What other classes? What are the classes that are not on either of our token?
Dead. The elf tank is dead as well.
Boss is about to die.
Yeah.
Easy.
Okay, kill Skull. What? Why don't we do Deep 3 next week? Come on, something good, please. One cash item. Brutality sword?
There's a mage helm.
For fuck's sake, there's no good mage items. I'm not gonna win a tier piece. I'm rolling out Warrior Rogue Druid. Soda, If you don't have a big role for this one, man, I might just have to like go and delete your character
dude,
from the game, dude.
I'm triple fail stacked. There's no way.
Send it. Fuck.
It's gone.
Nah, it's gone. All right, check this out. And there it is. Maybe. Fuck, Spate, though,
Nope.
you piece of shit. All right, I think we're good.
I'm an idiot. Can I have living bomb?
Who got living bomb?
Can I have living bomb? Is that me?
I don't know. What is this piss on the ground? Can I stand in it without like getting wrecked? Oh, I got living bomb.
I didn't even notice. I need to
Wait,
download.
what the fuck, man? Did you walk into me? Holy shit. He does 3 living bombs now, dude. I'm trying to heal off tank. What is this? Ignite mana, bro. We gotta dispel this.
Yeah, that's a wipe. Should I B-res someone? Do we have a soul stone? Do we have a soul stone?
Send the res on something, yeah.
No, we have a soul stone. I'll save.
Who blew up the raid, man, in Insta?
I'll be honest, that might have been me straight up.
We have to nuke the boss on the last. Oh, the hunter has another living bomb, dude. Look at him, look at him, look at him. Move away from the hunter, guys. This guy's blind.
Oh my god, I'm scared.
Yeah, look at him. He's Santa Mage.
Oh, he's in range. Okay.
Yeah. First boss. Execute. Fast. Yeah, this is the thing that we need to stop. Kill him. Kill him. He's gonna blow up. Yeah, there it is. We got this, boys. It's in the bag. Believe. He's doing the thing. Kill him. Kill him. Kill him. Every global to damage. He's casting the thing. It kills us all if we don't kill him. Please. No way! He took all my buffs down with him, man! My fucking buffs, man!
A solid, clean kill. Res us up.
Well, at least, you know, they did their job. Now, did he drop something? You know, somebody who guaranteed wet poop and rats?
That's a good roll. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Do we do a death roll? Do we do a 1v1 death roll?
Oh, no, you don't. Crank Savage rolled 95.
Oh, never mind. Am I finally gonna win a single item, even though it's a really shitty one? Probably. And there it is. A soda pop and roll. I feel like your shit luck is rubbing off on me. You know, up until this point, I've had the cleanest run ever.
Dude, I just smell of shit today.
Yeah, no, you really do. Like, I'm in Europe and I smell it. Can somebody decurse the tank? Stars, someone, man, I'm kicked. You guys are so fucking useless.
Okay, calm down. Let's relax.
Sorry.
Friendly fire.
I'm gonna look at the dispels later, man.
I'm feral.
No, not you.
Okay.
Mages. We have 4 mages. I invited 4 mages. They're taking all my loot. Can they press the spell? Let's see. Gino. Okay, Gino's on fire. Okay, stars, man. Oh my god, he's a goblin. All right, let's see. Okay. The bindings. This is it. This has got to be our item, dude. It has to be our item. We're gonna do 69 and into a 99. Check this out, please. Oh! This could be it. This could be it. This could be it. Don't curse it. Stop typing grats. Stop it. Negative vibes. Don't jinx. We're getting an item.
Wow.
So are you ready? Right now, I don't even give the item to myself. Back to back right now, the RNG is on. Are you ready?
Okay, go.
Here we go. Please. Go. It could work. Fuck you, went boom. Are you kidding me, man? Even when you roll 91, you buff wet poo. Unbelievable. Fucking believable, dude. Wet poo, you know coming next week, I swear to God, I will level an Alliance Mage and find you and make you a permanent ghost. Do you understand? It goes for everyone who's got an item. You're all in Agents of Brill now. Let me show up this orb here. It's good to know for next week. Yeah.
Easy.
It's crazy.
Oh, my weapon.
No way. Something good?
And shoulders. Wow. That weapon goes straight to me. It's not even a roll. It's another feral prio. I'm not even kidding.
It's probably gonna go to you, bro. I don't think anyone even wants that shit. Maybe a hunter wants to grief you on it.
Big 15.
The fast 3 to 1 countdown. The fast 3.
Send that shit. I don't have pull arms trained, by the way, so. All right, I got a weapon. Woo.
Don't worry, we're rolling out the trash items. Yeah, don't worry about the trash items, guys.
Ooh, 59. Those are my shoulders, and it's gone.
It goes to mothers so far. I don't know why. I have a feeling I'm gonna like roll a 98.
At your side, the lady.
92.
Good.
And it's gone.
Fucking snake. Bro, is a Mage Blade gonna drop? Holy fuck, this has been a giant success if it drops and I get it. If it drops and I don't get it, I'm gonna seriously cry tonight.
Yep. Double mage chest, mage
Triple
boots,
mage,
and
oh my god, it's a jackpot. Holy fuck, please. Do I have a big roll? Do I have a big roll, Soda? Do I have a big roll lined up?
I don't fucking know, man. I need those ingots for the Sulfurian hammer when I get it. Mage blade, 41, 15, those are low. Ooh,
82,
ooh.
82. We gotta beat an 82, guys. We can do it. We can do it. We can do it. Please, please, please. Dude, am I getting Mage Blade today, bro?
No, another mages though.
If it drops and I don't get it, I'm gonna seriously cry tonight.
Yep.
Please! Fuck!
Ooh! That's close.
Cock! Look, I'm gonna win this boot. Who cares? I'm gonna roll 1.
No, you're not rolling shit. Oh, wait. Oh.
Bro, what?
Oh.
What?
Oh!
That's what I said I wanted. This is exactly what I said I wanted to happen with the Mage Blade, by the way. Wait, did I actually win them?
You won the boots, yes.
Yo, do you want to trade the boots? You trying to trade, bro? Warlock? Trying to trade some tier, my boy? All right. Wait, let me get this robe as well. We can add that to the deal as well. One sec. There it is. Never mind. There it is. The worst flush of my life. I literally flushed. I buffed Star's roll. I literally buffed him. Raid is done. If you want to join my guild, we raid weekly. Chill. No sweat. Whisper me. All right. Picasso! There's 2 of them, dude. Motherfucker!
Inventory is full. I can't carry anymore. Inventory is full.
Yes! Nice, my boy. Thank you, bro. Right, okay, bam, back on. Okay, right, transaction done. Staff of the Dead is gone. Altar Ring still lives. We'll leave him in the bank for now. So what we're going to do now is have some fun in Deadman Mode. What we're going to do is some Bandos God Wars to get Bandos Armor, and then take that to Duke. Tier 5 Terry, bro. Give me that emblem right there, bro. Don't really think I need that, like, let's say, acidity or whatnot. What the shit? Bro, I just got a supply drop from General Grador, level 624 or something, of shitty red spider eggs and sea turtles. Ah, should have been the sigil of amazing. Oi, little Bandos hilt coming in. That will help me with my Duke grind. No armor yet, but that's rarer than the armor, so it should be easier now for me to DIY the armor. Nice. Nice! There he is, Bandos chestplate. Beautifully obtained. We insta-teleport. Hopefully we don't get hit by any Zamorak monster here. And upon leaving, we're going to hit Edgefield Bank and hopefully not get killed for it, mate, by Mr. Smalls. Only death has been to Baldy. Yeah. Oi! On the Reese raid, we're done. Bandos Tasset, 75 KC as well, bro. That's like the maximum points from Grador there as well. Done. Dusted. And not instantly obliterated for my items. The Tassets are mine. It is time for the fun part. Duke Sakelis in max gear, bro. Let's do it. Right, Mr. Boathead Bro Guy. Yes, I'd like to give you 1 million coins for permanent access. Now, if I die in Deadman Mode, I will forever be able to travel this direction. In and out. There was a white dot. He's gone now, bro. There was a white dot there, but he is gone. If it's a PK, actually, you just stand there and whatever, but that's good. Right, let me gear up, and then the next clip is going to be legendary. Oh, what? Friggin' dragon boots? Oh, man. It looks so... It's in the bonfire outfit. Inferno Cape bought. Bond bought. Yeah, it's fine. It'll be good anyway. Right, I'm going to pop some Duke because it's very safe. I'm genuinely excited. I've greened Duke in the main game. I've got the pet. And I've got everything. And now I can do it in Deadman Mode in absolute max because I can't get killed inside the room. I only have to tank to the room. And once I'm here, we're absolutely chilling. So this should be some good, damage. Bro, that was such a quick kill. Perfect Duke Sakelis because it died that quick. And I got the speedrunner as well. No, but if anyone wants to steal everything I said and make a Reddit post about it, make it sure it's your idea and not mine. What? I mean, wait, is it normally, it's Whisperer you get 10, I think. I want to say 7's the good amount and 4's the bad amount, so I just made like 1.5 mil, mate. Little Magus Vestige coming in on 59 KC. It'll be a bit of money at least. I think it's like 5 or 6 mil or something, but that's not bad. I am after Virtus though, and I would very much like to get some. Other than that, I cannot complete with a Magus on that. Alright, 65 Duke Sakelis is killed. The trip is now over. I will return... You know what? I'll return immediately. There's a breach in 48 minutes, which we're going to go to, so I will do some more Sakelis. I may have been a moron all this time whenever I want to go to God Wars. I've actually done some of my combat achievements. So, can I just pick up the hilt to telly there? I genuinely can. That saves me some time. I'm down to food, but it is what it is. Right, I'm doing some more Zami, because I want to do more Zami. Bro, right, here we go. This might be it. This might be the moment of the end of my demo mode. I'm going to buy 1 Bones to Peach Scroll for 450,000 coins. No, honestly, bro, no one in the game has unlocked that shit. Or no one's made any of the tabs. Which means, yeah. Plan of action. Extend Aviances for 100 points. And then slaughter... Wait, let me find out. I am now going to choose my slay task of Aviances. And we're going to do a bit of Kriara. Wait. Either I'm blind or Aviances are not on this list. Mate, I've not unlocked him. Oh, I've got the points. It's fine. Right. Unlock. Scrolling. Gimme. Aviances. Nice. 258 points left. Now I choose the assignment. Where are they, bro? Aviances. Pow. 217. That's at the lowest. I'll pay any amount of money. 279k, bro. I beg. Don't make me go make one myself. I can't be bothered. Thank you, mate. I'm buying like 10. No. Why? I don't even care. I mean, okay, that's the thing I can just stick in my bank, and if I die, it can go to someone else. Wait, it can be broken down for a compartment, actually. It might be worth like 5 mil. I might be able to snatch a bit of money from it. And here we go. We teleport out. We hit the Ring of Returning, which we don't do because I forgot to wear my Armadillo Halo. And then when I tell you back, I'll have 67 KC and can walk straight into the room. Change of plan, though. I want to try the Thrall out here. Let's give it a go. Please don't be garbage. Shitty moron got so charged. I want Armadillo chestplate. Money! Armadillo change skirt. Don't mind if I... Oh, I have no blood barrages left. Nice little item. Okay, not bad. Another Armadillo change skirt on the ground. Can we get a body is the question, Max. If I can, I'll be happy. Hey, little Armadillo hilt coming in. I think that's about 9 mil to the lower brackets right now, so that's another little stack of cash coming in. Here we go, bro. The superior is down. Swashbuckler, that's good. It's a good one, bro. Mate, he's going in the G. Swashbuckler. It's got to be at least a few mil minimum. A few mil minimum, bro. Straight in the G, man. Give me the dash. Nah, this was worth bank. And now it's a mil. Right, okay, I don't care. In that case, prosperity. We're going to barrage these smoke devils, and I'm going to use the Sigil of Prosperity for 20% more Deadman drops and see what we can win. Right, don't despawn the second I get to you, my brother. No way. Oh, I got it! Bro, I got it! Oh, mate, okay. Oh, bro, I was about to quit. That would have been it, mate. That would have been the nail in the coffin. I'll record every supply drop we get over the course of this task then. But Scroll of Imbuing is the first one, which is honestly genuinely a giant pile of shit, mate. Working, bro! It's working! I'm still alive! Bro, it worked! Oh my god, bro, please let me live! Yeah, it worked! Oh my god, I didn't expect it to work, bro. It actually did. Oh, Tamori, man, I'm so sorry, bro. I'm so sorry for him. Oh, my name's Prosperity. I cost like 1,000,000 coins and get me a sigil of the abyss. I'm not even picking up, bro. Like, the sigil could despawn from the game, man. 2 GP, man. I get more from a cow. Another supply drop. Runeful Helm and Manta Rays. And my life might be about to expire as there is a player killer sniffing. I freaking bought that one to use it, and I got another one. Fine, I'll take it, mate. Thanks for the prosperity, my brother. Right, it's a new day. I don't think I even showed my death at Zuliana last time. Is there anyone there? Oh, there's a red dot in the room, man. Right, let's try a new world. Because if every world has a person in, I'm not wasting time getting 40k Seaver. No, I'm scouted by Easy Outplay. No, I hopped so fast he didn't see me, bro. He hopped so fast he didn't see me. Don't log into a clan. Right, no white dots, red dots. Well, I just logged in, so. That's good. We're getting somewhere. Good luck, me. That's the freaking shit one, isn't it? Sigil of Preservation. I want to pick it up, but I just think it's a pile of garbage. Right, let's do some Commander Zilyana. Where the hell is it? Come here. What the hell? Sour Sword from the minion. Alright, I'm pretty sure it's an absolute steaming pile of junk in demo mode, but at least if I get absolutely bopped now, we got something. Armadillo crossbow, bro, mate. The smile on my face. It's 70 million gold right now, the Armadillo crossbow. Is it one guy? One guy is survivable unless there's a friend outside. Is there a big team outside, or? Well, you hit me alone. Fair play if you did. Surprise him. Fair enough. I respect it. I'm gonna go back. Oh, there's no way. You can't genuinely aggro me after that much time. Oh my god, mate. Like, it was just too long. It was too long for one player. Is he off? Oh no, he's getting smoked by the trolls. He's getting smoked by the trolls. Oh, wait, is that a white dot? What the hell is going on, bro? Why, man? No one wants that pile of garbage. It's okay. It's the stepping stones towards the item that we require. Right, guys? Guys? Get me out, please. No team login and pop my head off. I'm just gonna spam the returning ring. Get me out, please. Yes! Armadillo crossbow, 70 mil. 70 million gold, bro. Dragon on the crossbow, mate. Come on, dude. Nest. What is that bow? Lol. Armadillo crossbow, KC68. It's a good day, bro. Okay. What do I need to do now? The only thing I want to do now is a Staff of the Dead from Zami God Wars. That's my final content that I do. So this deposit box, if I take out the Cryptid Scythe, we'll sell this for a couple of protected things. But I can sell the ACB and like the Ultor Ring and buy a Shadow and then go back to Vardorvis to get my final item that I want, which is these any piece of Virtus. And then the final thing we do is just Chambers of Xeric, and I don't need Guardian Inns for that because I can sell the whole bank off, so that's fine. Right. Oh, bro, I got it, mate. I saw the word Armadillo at the corner. And I knew it can't be an Armadillo helmet. It can only be the big one, bro. You know, I've stopped going to the breaches because I'm kind of just like, I'm retired of them, you know. I've done enough breaches now, this demo mode. I've enjoyed them. but it's nice to be a tier 5 Terry, potentially for the last time right now. May! Alright, it's pretty useless, but I mean, I guess that is another one of them. Could have been Staff of the Dead, I have to say. But he looks nice on the ground anyway. I don't think it's worth anything though. Well, that's alright. Pump the monkey up a bit. Alright, nothing from that shrimp. All good. I'm going to tell you out now. I got bought by a team here. I don't lose anything I care about. And that's all good. What are you doing, mate? Here we go. It's time. We have a seller for the final of the big items. This is the deposit box for the guy asking. We have Twisted Bow, Scythe, Full Bandos, DFS Stat, Hammer Shape, Ultra Ring, Armadillo Chain Skirt, and Armadillo Crossbow. We're going to sell the Armadillo Crossbow for a nice, handsome 58.5 mil. It's not going to insta-buy, but this is the cheapest crossbow in the market for the past, like, 10 trades. So whoever gets it, gets it. Oh, there he is, mate. 58.5. Enjoy whoever bought it. That will be more expensive in the future. I'm very certain of that. Now, someone is selling me an item for 60 million coins. Everything I own. Now I need to locate him. This is it. Mr. Jartsa is selling the 2-Mechan Shadow for 60 million. Big ones for me. Now, I do believe I could get it for cheaper, but we made a transaction, and I agreed to the price as long as he held it for me. So thank you, sir, for the Shadow. This will sit in my deposit box now, alongside my Scythe and Twisted Bow. The bank is looking good. Oh, I've been given a trinket by Mr. Illusionary. Illusionary, my friend, the best of luck. Please be good. No! Enjoy the dark mode, brother. Enjoy the dark mode. Oh, Nayo Tamari is giving the trinket over to me. The best of luck, sir. Please be big. No! I'm on 0 for 2. Spleenary has sent in the trinket. Good luck. Yes! I made someone money. Enjoy, bro. Grats. Thank you for letting me open the trinket. About damn time. Deadman Mode is finally on the final stand. We've just hit 95 Slayer. It is time to grind the alchemical Hydra. So good, bro. There's my spare Emporium, by the way. Not yet. Last kill of the task coming in. Look at the inventory, bro. 5 zombie spears. Unfortunately, we did not get the Staff of the Dead. But I probably should not have tele to edge fill. We're all good. I could get another task and go back if I feel like it. But for now, not bad. 500k each. They didn't even sell, man. Nah. You ain't getting it for that price, bro. I'm sorry, mate. 2 mil for the Zami Hill. Maybe somebody? Hey, 2 mil and 1k. Good snipe, brother. Bro. Mate, someone just picks up 4 Zami Spears immediately at the same time. Right, someone's going Caught Beast. That's all I'm saying, bro. So I now know that someone is going Caught Beast with a team of 4 people, bro. Oh, if only, mate. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the gear. Vardorvis. As long as I one-tick flick while I do it, I will get all the potion drops I require, and I can basically stay here, borderline, indefinitely. So let's see how many kills we can get. Scythe charges are currently set at 6,099. Let's see how many we end with. There we go. Take 20 minutes to load recorder. It's fine, as always. Blood Quartz. I'm going to leave it on the ground for now. As long as I don't die, I can grab that whenever the hell I damn please. But if I can be bothered with a real master plan for the final, killing the Grumbler for the staff or whatever the hell it is, and attaching that would allow me to blood barrage my health to 109, which would actually be genuinely, potentially, in my opinion, better than Zoriel, Staff of the Dead, anything. But can I be bothered doing it? No. I don't know how many kills I did. I'm on 422. I have 3,709 Scythe charges left. This is the same trip as before, but I'm going to bed, so I'm just going to do a brand new trip tomorrow and see how long that one goes for. And that is that. Good night, my friends. It's Monday or Tuesday at 3 a.m. right now. Oh, hold on. The breach ends in a minute. I'm going to watch people open trinkets. 3573. Where is he? What's his gear? He's looking pretty broke. He's giving me a trinket. Good luck, mate. It's a big pile of garbage, mate. Enjoy your dark bow, bro. So it's a twisted bow. It's actually profit? I genuinely just thought that was a genuine dark bow right there, mate. Okay, it's a twisted bow. Congratulations, mate. Blind Stad, you're up. Let's go fast. You must have nothing surrounding you. There's nothing surrounding me. Open the trinket, bro. Enjoy your twisted bow. Right, we have Legia on the trade. Trinket, let's go. Good luck, mate. Mate, I'm printing everyone today, mate. Enjoy your scythe. Profit, mate. Oh, the big one! The big one! Yes! Yes! It could have been a mask! It could have been the bottoms! It's the big one, bro! Bro, it's funny, mate. Oh my god. That is... I'm checking the price right now. It's 100 mil, bro! 100 million gold, bro. Oh my god. That's the biggest drop I've had on Deadman Mode right now. All I've got to do now, bro, is just finish off this Ultra Ring, mate. We'll finish off our 2 out of 3 or 1 out of 3, whatever I'm on, bro. Oh my god. That is funny.
Hey, thanks for the subscribe. Something's fucked up with that. It's always like a minute or 2 late when I hear, like, someone's probably subscribed like a minute or 2, like, earlier, but like, the sound effect for that shit happens like way later, so thank you. What the fuck? Oh. Hit like a critter or something. Thank you. I'm feeling like listen to like a creepypasta actually. Anything new? Oh, there's one from like 7 days ago from Creeps McPasta. I think that's like the British guy.
The gentle sway of the train car had always been soothing to me. As a regional sales manager for a large pharmaceutical company, I spent more time on railways than I did in my own bed. The rhythmic clack of the wheels on the tracks was my lullaby. The ever-changing landscape outside my window, a constant companion.
All day.
This particular Tuesday evening found me on yet another overnight train, heading from Chicago to New York for a critical meeting. I settled into my usual routine. Laptop out, spreadsheets open, a cup of mediocre coffee cooling on the fold-down tray. The first sign that something was amiss came about 3 hours into a journey. I glanced at my watch, frowning slightly. We should have reached Cleveland by now, but the cityscape outside remained stubbornly rural. Fields and forests rolled by, bathed in the eerie glow of a full moon. I flagged down a passing attendant, a middle-aged woman with graying hair and a pinched expression. "Excuse me," I said, "but shouldn't we have reached Cleveland by now?" She gave me a strange look, her eyes slightly unfocused. "Cleveland? I'm sorry, sir, but I'm not familiar with that stop. Perhaps you're thinking of a different route?" Before I could respond, she hurried away, disappearing into the next car. I sat back, puzzled. How could she not know Cleveland? It was a major stop on this line. I shook my head, chalking it up to a new employee's confusion, and returned to my work. As the hours ticked by, my unease grew. The landscape outside never changed. An endless loop of moonlit fields and shadowy forests. My phone had lost signal long ago, and my watch seemed to be malfunctioning, its hands spinning wildly before stopping altogether. I decided to stretch my legs, hoping a walk through the train might clear my head. As I made my way through the cars, I noticed how eerily quiet it was. The few passengers I saw sat motionless in their seats, staring blankly ahead or out the windows. In the dining car, I found an elderly man hunched over a cup of coffee. His wrinkled hands trembled slightly as he lifted the mug to his lips. "Excuse me," I said, sliding into the seat across from him. "I don't mean to bother you, but have you noticed anything strange about this journey?" The old man's roomy eyes focused on me, a flicker of recognition passing across his face. "You're new, aren't you?" he said, his voice a dry whisper. "First time on this line?" I nodded, a chill running down my spine. "What do you mean, this line? This is just a regular Chicago to New York route, isn't it?" He let out a wheezing laugh that turned into a cough. "Oh, my boy," he said, shaking his head. "This ain't no regular route. This here's the last line. Ain't no New York where we're headed." "I don't understand," I said, my heart beginning to race. "Where are we going then?" The old man leaned in close, the smell of stale coffee on his breath. "Nowhere," he whispered. "Everywhere. This train don't stop, son. It just keeps going, round and round, world without end." I jerked back, convinced I was dealing with a madman. "That's impossible," I said. "Every train has to stop eventually." He just smiled a sad, knowing expression. "You go on believing that if it makes you feel better. But mark my words, you'll see. We'll figure it out sooner or later." I stood up abruptly, nearly knocking over my chair. "You're crazy," I muttered, backing away. "This is just a normal train. We'll be in New York by morning." As I turned to leave, the old man called out, "What's your name, son?" I hesitated for a moment before answering. Jack Thurston." He nodded slowly. "Well, Jack Thurston, I'm Howard. I'll be seeing you around. You've got all the time in the world, after all." I hurried back to my seat, Howard's words echoing in my mind. It was nonsense, of course. Trains didn't just go on forever. There had to be a rational explanation for the delays and strange behavior of the staff. As I sank into my seat, I noticed a young woman across the aisle, furiously scribbling in a notebook. Her long dark hair fell in a curtain around her face, and her leg bounced with nervous energy. "Excuse me," I said, leaning towards her. "I don't suppose you know when we're due to arrive in New York, do you?" She looked up, her eyes wide and slightly manic. "New York?" she repeated, letting out a hysterical giggle. "Oh, honey, there is no New York. Not anymore. There's only the train." I felt my blood run cold. "What are you talking about?" She leaned in close, her voice dropping to a whisper. "I've been on this train for I don't know how long. Days, weeks. It all blurs together. But I figured it out. We're not going anywhere. We're stuck in a loop, a never-ending journey to nowhere." I shook my head, refusing to believe it. "That's impossible. You're just confused. Maybe you fell asleep and missed your stop." She laughed again, the sound devoid of humor. "Oh, I wish it were that simple. Look around you. Have you seen anyone get off? Have we stopped at any stations? This isn't a normal train, Jack. This is something else entirely." I started at the sound of my name. "How did you know my name?" She smiled a sad, knowing expression. "I heard you talking to old Howard in the dining car. I'm Lisa, by the way. Welcome aboard the Eternal Express." I stood up, abruptly, my head spinning. "This is insane. All of you are insane. I'm going to find the conductor and get some answers." As I stormed off towards the front of the train, I heard Lisa call out behind me. Good luck with that, but don't say I didn't warn you. I made my way through car after car, each one identical to the last. The same faded blue seats, the same flickering overhead lights, the same blank-faced passengers staring into nothingness. How long had I been walking? It felt like hours, but that was impossible in a train of normal length. Finally, I reached what should have been the engine car. But instead of a locomotive, I found myself in another passenger car, exactly like all the others. I spun around, disoriented. How could this be? A hand on my shoulder made me jump. I turned to find the attendant from earlier, her pinched face now twisted into an unnaturally wild smile. "Can I help you, sir?" she asked, her voice sickly sweet. "I need to speak to the conductor," I said, trying to keep the panic out of my voice. "There's been some kind of mistake. This train should have reached New York by now." Her smile never wavered. "I'm sorry, sir, but there is no conductor, and there is no mistake. You're exactly where you're supposed to be." I backed away from her, my heart pounding. What is this place? What's happening? She tilted her head, her eyes suddenly black and empty. "This is the last line, Mr. Thurston. The train that never stops, never ends. You bought a ticket, and now you're on the ride of eternity." I turned and ran, pushing past confused passengers, my breath coming in ragged gasps. This couldn't be happening. It had to be a dream, a hallucination, anything but reality. I burst into the space between cars, the cold night air hitting me like a slap. The door next to the car was just a few feet away. If I could just reach it, maybe I could find a way off this nightmare train. But as I stepped forward, the gap between the cars seemed to stretch. The next door moved further and further away, no matter how fast I ran. The wind howled around me, drowning out my screams of frustration and fear. Suddenly, a hand grabbed my arm, yanking me back into the car. I fell to the floor, gasping for breath. Lisa stood over me, her face pale in the flickering light. "Are you crazy?" she hissed. "You can't go out there. Between the cars, that's where it gets you." "Where what gets you?" I asked, my voice shaking. She helped me to my feet, glancing nervously at the door. "The thing that runs this train, the thing that brought us all here. Trust me, you don't want to meet it."
Arise, my champion.
As if on cue, a low, rumbling sound echoed through the car. It was like nothing I'd ever heard before. Part machine, part animal, all wrong. The lights flickered more intensely, and for a moment, I could have sworn I saw something massive moving in the shadows between the cars. Lisa pulled me back to our seats, the grip on my arm almost painful. "Listen to me," she said urgently. "I know this is hard to accept. God knows I fought against it for I don't even know how long. But fighting only makes it worse. You have to accept where you are, or you'll go mad."
I can't loot that.
I slumped in my seat, my mind reeling.
I can't loot.
But why? Why is this happening? What is this place? She shook her head. "I don't know. None of us do.
I can't.
All we know is that we're here on this never-ending journey. Some think it's hell, others purgatory. Old Howard thinks it's some kind of cosmic mistake.
Carry anymore.
Me? I think it's just the universe's way of saying, tough luck, kiddo."
Inventory is full.
I looked out the window, watching the same moonlit landscape roll by. How many times had I seen those same fields, those same
I
trees?
can't loot that.
How long would I continue to see them? So,
I can't carry.
what do we do? I asked, my voice barely a whisper.
Inventory is full.
Lisa gave me a sad smile. We ride, we talk, we try to stay sane, and we hope that maybe, just maybe, one day we'll reach the last stop. As the train rolled into the endless night, I realized with a sinking heart that my journey had only just begun. And the destination, that remained a terrifying mystery. Days blended into nights, and nights into days. The monotonous rhythm of the train became the backdrop to my existence. I lost count of how many times I'd watched the same scenery roll by, how many times I walked the length of the train hoping to find something, anything different. Lisa became my anchor in this sea of madness. We spent hours talking, sharing stories of our lives before the train. She'd been a journalist, always chasing the next big story. "Guess I found it," she would say with a bitter laugh, gesturing at our surroundings. Old Howard joined us often, his weathered face a map of the time he'd spent on this hellish journey. "Been riding this rail for longer than I can remember," he'd say, his rheumy eyes distant. "Seen folks come and go. Some just disappear. Others..." He trailed off, shaking his head. I learned to fear the spaces between the cars. Sometimes, late at night, when the train's rhythm seemed to falter, we'd hear things. Scraping, slithering sounds. Once, I caught a glimpse of something massive and dark, undulating past the windows. Lisa pulled me away before I could get a better look. "Trust me," she said, her face pale. "You don't want to know." The other passengers were a mix of the resigned and the mad. Some, like us, tried to maintain some semblance of normalcy. Others had given in to despair, sitting in the same spots day after day, staring blankly at nothing. And then there were those who'd lost their minds entirely, prowling the cars with wild eyes and incoherent ramblings. One such soul was a man we called the Preacher. Tall and menacing, with a tangled beard and eyes that burned with fanatical fervor. He would roam the train shouting about sin and redemption. "We're all here for a reason," he'd bellow, spittle flying from his lips. "This is our punishment, our penance. Repent and maybe, just maybe, you'll find your way off this damn train." Most ignored him, but some listened. I watched as he gathered a small following, passengers desperate for any explanation, any hope of escape. It was on what I guessed to be my 100th day on the train that things took a darker turn. I was jolted awake by screams coming from the front of the car. Lisa was already on her feet, her face a mask of terror. "They've done it," she whispered. "They've actually done it." I followed her gaze to see a group of the Preacher's followers dragging a struggling passenger towards the door between cars. The Preacher stood by, his arms raised, chanting something I couldn't make out over the victim's screams. "What are they doing?" I asked, though part of me already knew the answer. "A sacrifice," old Howard said, his voice grim. "Fools think they can appease whatever's running this train, buy their way off with blood." I started to move towards them, but Lisa held me back. "Don't," she hissed. "There's nothing we can do, just don't watch." But I couldn't look away. The group reached the door, and with a final, triumphant cry from the Preacher, they shoved their victim out into the space between cars. For a moment, nothing happened. Then came a sound. A wet, tearing noise that would haunt my nightmares for days to come. The door slammed shut, cutting off the screams. The preacher turned to face the rest of us, his eyes wild with excitement. "It is done," he shouted. "The unworthy has been cast out. Soon we shall reach our final destination." But the train rolled on, unchanged. Hours passed, then days. No final stop, no salvation, just the endless journey and the growing madness of the preacher and his flock. More sacrifices followed. The train's population dwindled as passenger after passenger was thrown to whatever lurked between the cars. Those of us who refused to join the preacher's cult banded together, watching each other's backs, sleeping in shifts. It was during one of my watch shifts that I first saw her. A little girl, no more than 7 or 8, wandering alone through the car. Her pink dress was pristine, her blonde hair neatly braided. She looked so out of place in this nightmare that for a moment I thought I was hallucinating. "Hello?" I said softly, not wanting to scare her. "Are you lost?" She turned to me, and I had to stifle a gasp. Her eyes were completely black, like empty voids in a small face. When she spoke, her voice was old, ancient even. "Lost?" she repeated, tilting her head. "No, I don't think so. I know exactly where I am. Do you?" I felt a chill run down my spine. "What are you?" I whispered. She smiled, revealing teeth that were just a bit too sharp. "I'm a passenger, just like you. We're all passengers here, Jack. All of us, riding the rails to eternity." "How do you know my name?" I asked, though I dreaded the answer. "I know everyone's name," she said, her black eyes boring into mine. "I know why they're here. I know their sins, their fears, their deepest, darkest secrets." She took a step closer. "Would you like to know yours, Jack?" I backed away, my heart pounding. "Stay away from me," I said, my voice shaking. She laughed, a sound like breaking glass. "Oh, Jack, you can't run from any of this. You bought your ticket. Now, you have to ride." I blinked, and she was gone. Just vanished, as if she'd never been there at all. I slumped in my seat, my mind reeling. Was I losing it? Had I finally snapped, like so many others on this godforsaken train? I must have dozed off, because the next thing I knew, Lisa was shaking me awake. Her face was pale, her eyes wide with fear. "Jack," she said urgently, "something's happening. The train, it's slowing down." I sat up, suddenly alert. She was right. For the first time since this nightmare began, I could feel the train decelerating. The familiar clack of wheels and tracks was slowing, becoming more distinct. Passengers were stirring, looking around in confusion and hope. Even the preacher and his followers had stopped their mad ranting, staring out the windows with a mix of fear and anticipation. "Are we stopping?" I asked, hardly daring to believe it. Old Howard shook his head, his expression grim. "Don't get your hopes up, son. In all my time here, I've never known this train to stop. Whatever's happening, it ain't gonna be good." As if to punctuate his words, the lights in the car began to flicker more intensely than ever before. The temperature dropped rapidly, our breath fogging in the suddenly frigid air. And then, with a great screeching of metal on metal, the train ground to a halt.
I can't loot that.
For a moment,
I can't
there was absolute silence. We all held our breath, waiting, hoping, fearing. Then, with a hiss of hydraulics, the door slid open. "Finally!" the preacher cried, pushing his way towards the exit. "Our salvation is at hand. Come, brothers and sisters, let us..." His words were cut off by a scream of pure terror. As he stepped off the train, something grabbed him. Something huge and dark and impossible. In the blink of an eye, he was gone, leaving nothing behind but a spreading pool of blood on the platform. Chaos erupted. Passengers pushed and shoved, some trying to get off the train, others desperately attempting to close the doors. I lost sight of Lisa in the pandemonium, and through it all, I heard laughter, the same glass-like sound from before. I turned to see the little girl with the black eyes standing calmly in the middle of the mayhem. "Welcome to the last stop, Jack," she said, her voice cutting through the screams and cries. "Are you ready to get off?" As I stared into those bottomless black eyes, I realized with dawning horror that our endless journey had only been the beginning. The real nightmare was just starting. And somewhere in the distance, I heard the sound of a train whistle, signaling the departure to our next, unknown destination. The chaos around me faded into a dull roar as I stared into the little girl's black eyes. Time seemed to slow, and in that moment, I had a sudden, crystal clear realization. This was a test. The endless train ride, the maddening repetition, the horrors we'd witnessed. It had all been leading to this moment of choice. "No," I said, my voice surprisingly steady. "I'm not getting off. Not here, not like this." The girl's smile faltered for a split second, a crack in her otherworldly composure. "You don't have a choice, Jack. Everyone has to get off eventually." I stood my ground, even as I heard more screams from the platform, more passengers being dragged into the darkness. There's always a choice. You told me I bought a ticket for this ride. Well,
I can't loot that.
I'm not ready for it to end.
I can't loot that.
Her eyes narrowed. "You can't stay on the train forever, Jack. It doesn't work like that." "Watch me," I growled, turning away from her and pushing through the panicked crowd. I had to find Lisa and Howard. We'd survived this long together. I wasn't about to leave them behind now. I spotted Howard first, huddled in a corner, his eyes wide with terror. "Come on," I said, grabbing his arm. "We need to move." "Where?" he asked, his voice trembling. "There's nowhere to go. It's got us. It's finally got us." I shook him, perhaps more roughly than I intended. "Listen to me. This isn't the end. It's just another part of the journey. We have to stick together. Now, help me find Lisa." Something in my voice must have reached him, because he nodded, stumbling to his feet. He pushed through the crowd, searching desperately for Lisa's familiar face. He found her near the front of the car, trying to pull other passengers back from the door. "Lisa," I called out, "we have to go." She turned, relief flooding her face when she saw us. "Go where?" she asked as she reached us. "In case you haven't noticed, we're a little short on options here." pointed toward the back of the train. We keep going. This thing has to end somewhere, and I don't think it's here. As if in response to my words, I heard the train whistle again, louder this time. The engine was starting up. "It's leaving," Howard said, his eyes wide. "We have to get off now, or will we be trapped forever?" I finished for him. "I've got news for you, Howard. We're already trapped. Have been since we first stepped on board. But now we have a chance to find a real way out." Lisa looked at me, understanding dawning in her eyes. "You think this is all part of it, don't you? The final test?" I nodded. "It has to be, and I'm not failing it by giving in now." The train lurched, beginning to move. The last of the passengers were either fleeing onto the platform or collapsing in despair. "It's now or never," I said. "Are you with me?"
My champion.
Lisa grabbed my hand without hesitation. Howard hesitated for a moment, looking longingly at the door, but then took Lisa's other hand. "All right," he said. "Let's see where this crazy train takes us." As the train picked up speed, we made our way towards the back, pushing against the tide of terrified passengers. The little girl appeared again, her face contorted with rage. "You can't do this," she shrieked. "You have to get off. Everyone gets off." "Not today," I told her, pushing past. We reached the final car, just as the platform disappeared from view. Through the windows, we could see only darkness. Not the familiar darkness of night, but an absolute void, empty of all light and substance. The train picked up speed, rattling and shaking more violently than ever before. We huddled together, bracing ourselves against the walls of the car. "What now?" Lisa yelled over the noise. "We wait," I said, "and we don't let go." The darkness outside seemed to press in on us, seeping through the windows like a living thing. The lights in the car flickered and died, plunging us into blackness. I could feel Lisa's hand in mine, Howard's presence at my side, but I couldn't see them. Then, just as suddenly as it had begun, the shaking stopped. The oppressive darkness lifted, and for the first time in what felt like an eternity, the train began to slow. Sunlight, real, warm, beautiful sunlight, streamed through the windows.
I'm out of range.
I blinked, my eyes not used to the brightness after so long in the train's artificial light. As my vision cleared, I saw that we were pulling into a station. A real station, with people waiting on the platform, going about their daily lives as if nothing was amiss. The train came to a gentle stop, and the doors opened with a familiar hiss. For a long moment, none of us moved, afraid that this was just another trick, another test. Then, Howard let out a whoop of joy and rushed for the door. Lisa and I followed, stepping out onto the platform on shaky legs. The station sign read, Grand Central Terminal. We were in New York. We had made it. As we stood there, breathless and disbelieving, I felt a tug on my sleeve. I turned to see the little girl with the black eyes, but now, in the sunlight, she looked different. Normal. Just a regular kid with brown eyes and a confused expression. "Excuse me," she said, her voice high and childish. "Is this the train to Chicago?" I knelt down to a level, smiling gently. "No, sweetheart, this train just came from Chicago. But trust me, you don't want to get on it." She nodded, thanked me, and ran off to find her parents. I watched her go, a weight lifting from my chest. Lisa squeezed my hand. "Is it really over?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. I looked at her, then at Howard, then at the bustling station around us. "Yeah," I said, finally allowing myself to believe it. "I think it is." As we made our way out of the station and into the bright New York morning, I knew the memories of our endless journey would stay with us forever. But we had faced the darkness, made our choice, and found our way back to the light. And if I ever saw a train again, it would be too soon.
Not bad of a story. Investigator and my client asked me to stalk her. Okay, I'll give that a listen.
Let's get the obvious out of the way. Being a PI sucks. It's not what you think. It's pretty much harassing women. Men hire PIs to go harass their wives and girlfriends, and once in a blue moon you get asked to find a missing dog or to harass a man instead. But that's it really. Sometimes I'm looking for hard evidence of infidelity, but a lot of the time my clients just want to rattle the soon-to-be ex, to make them paranoid and jittery and less reliable in a courtroom, or less likely to pay attention to the small print agreements that stiff them out of their holiday home. So that's my job. I'm a pawn, and it is almost always on behalf of the kind of men who think women reading a book in public are secretly looking for male attention. I don't have an office. I did for a short while, but things are tough, as I'm sure many of you know, and PI work isn't exactly lucrative. I don't know why I'm still doing this job, except to say I'm my own boss, and it's not easy out there. I went into this with vastly different expectations. If anyone wants to hire someone who's convicted of insurance fraud or training to be a police officer, let me know. Otherwise, I'm on my own, following people in cars and sleeping in dingy motels. So, when someone reached out looking for a guy to stalk them, I just figured it was a fetish thing. I got a nephew who went to art school and makes big bucks painting cartoon characters doing messed up stuff. He ain't painting the Sistine Chapel, but he pays the bills and looks after his family. I figured if that work is good enough for him, it's good enough for me. So, I met the woman and was surprised at how normal she looked. It was in a public place, a park with a nice bench, and even though it was starting to rain a little, we didn't let it bother us either. We sat there, 2 tape recorders running, and hashed it out. She said she liked me. If she hadn't, she would have gotten out of her car. That was flattering coming from her. Good-looking woman, professional. I didn't know at the time, but I quickly figured out she was a forensic accountant. Anyway, we got talking. She never gave me her motivation, but I would later come to understand her as an amateur narcissist. She was new at loving herself. She was smart, accomplished, and she was actually rather beautiful, provided you didn't spend a great deal of time agonizing over things like symmetry or eyebrows, and instead paid attention to how a smile reaches the eyes or how laughter sounds when it catches someone by surprise. But she grew up dirt poor and spent her teen years unable to visit the dentist or access a gym, or even eat home-cooked food that wasn't microwaved. Plump frame, blotchy skin, hair kept short with a pair of scissors because her and her mother relied on the shampoo and soap they stole from the motel where they shared cleaning shifts. When she fumbled awkward questions at some of the better-looking boys in her class, she rarely met with success. That's not to say she was an outcast either. She had a social life. It's just poor kids have to grow up early. Prom is a luxury. Eating isn't. If you know, you know. Otherwise, you might be surprised by how tough it can be for some kids in this country. Anyway, she got out of that hole, fought tooth and nail, got an education, a good job, and by the time she finished the victory lap and took stock of her life, she was 35 years old and 1,000 miles from the trailer she was raised in. And she looked good. The woman in the mirror was a stranger that she wanted to get to know. I think hiring me was an act of self-love. I think if she could have, she would have sat in a car and watched herself get a cup of coffee, spying closely at the professional-looking woman doing a little half-run, half-skip to get out of the rain. The way she stood in line, rocking back and forth on her heels to the music in her AirPods, thinking no one would notice. She wanted to admire herself, but unable to time travel or clone herself, she instead resorted to hiring me as a kind of proxy. I had my own boundaries, of course. They covered anything that was going to get me in trouble. The gist of the contract, after a nice week spent meeting after work and talking, was that I was to follow her as often as I could and just observe her. Photos, videos, secret recordings, occasionally a little bit more. Nothing physical. For example, one time I inventoried a handbag after she left it in a taxi by accident. I'm not a photographer, but something about all those knickknacks laid out on a motel bed, snapped with black and white Polaroid. It looked good. Like something you'd see in a fancy gallery. Avant-garde, as my nephew would say. She loved it. Paid me a bonus for it and everything. Anyway, this carried on like this for about 6 months. There were interesting times. Tailing her across train stations, racing across open parking lots to install a tracker in a car, standing on a bridge and dropping an AirTag in her bag as she walked past. It was a little bit like being a spy. She even paid me to buy high-end equipment. Crazy stuff. One camera, I could sit on my balcony and read the texts on a phone from a block away. Occasionally, there were days where I couldn't or wouldn't keep up the required intensity. Stalking requires a lot of cardio. When that happened, and I didn't feel like following her into a crowded place or sprinting halfway around town following a car. I'd do research. I'd investigate who this woman had once been. I created fake Facebook profiles and tracked down old school friends, spoke to former teachers, lovers, all of that. The whole job was a matter of mapping her out, like she was a country, you know. And a country isn't just hills and rivers and borders. Countries have history. She was happy with my initiative. The text she sent me when I showed her the research folder was a glowing commendation. First one I'd had in a long time. It was nice. Someone telling me good job. She had a real way of making me feel like a kid getting a gold star. I didn't realize at the time, but I was putty in her hands. Head over heels, bless my stupid heart. Of course, I didn't know what I was getting into, but I'd had just enough time to grow overconfident. I made the mistake of thinking that I wasn't going to find anything in her past that'd give me trouble sleeping. Boy, did I get that one damn wrong. Her mother. That's where things took an odd turn. Now, I knew from news reports the mother died in their trailer while her daughter was off staying at some boyfriend's place for a few days. Natural causes, it read. I wanted to know a little more about what natural causes there were. Figured, if there was some congenital thing, it seemed like maybe I ought to know. You'd think the way the trailer park owner reacted to me asking about it, I tried asking the Russian government for proof of a democratic election. Thin, really little woman who gave me hell the moment I mentioned the name. What do you want to know that for? Who's asking? Who's paying you? Why do you want to dig this up? Oh, she ripped me to pieces. I put it down to the natural sprinkling of crazies in the standard population and took a different tact. Started calling up the older folks in the park, residents. Every single one of them put the phone down on me the second I mentioned the name. Well, all of them, except one. Some people want to talk, and this old bugger was one of them. He had a lot to say about everything, from the president to social media, and I let him ramble on before starting to press my point. I told him at the start I was a historian looking into the local area. That made it so it wasn't too suspicious when I began asking about this and that. Slowly making my way to the death of a 53-year-old woman a couple trailers down from him some years ago. Again, as soon as I mentioned the name, there was a change in the air, even over the phone. For a second, I thought this old guy was gonna hang up just like the others, could hear him smacking his dry lips as he mulled over. Francine didn't deserve what happened to her, he said after a while. She was a good woman, didn't treat the daughter too good neither. Didn't deserve what happened. Maybe if they'd found her earlier, some of those fellas in white coats could have got more evidence, put that little wretch of hers away. But from what I understand, weren't much left of her at all. Then he hung up, leaving me with a whole lot of questions. This frustrated me. I had, until now, had a fair bit of luck at this new profession of mine. They say be careful what you get good at. Sad truth was, I was getting good at stalking, and this was my first real roadblock. I remembered the way I felt when she told me good job, and it bothered me I couldn't really say much about this critical part of her life. That and, well, maybe I still got a chip on my shoulder about being a failed policeman. If you give me a problem, I can sometimes drive myself crazy looking for a fix. So, I hopped in my car and drove to the trailer park, down near on the other side of the country. Don't know what I was hoping to find. No way the trailer was still there, and it wasn't. But what I found odd was the lot hadn't been replaced. There was a hole in the ground, about the right size and nothing else. Just an empty spot where the trailer had once stood, and the trailers on either side weren't occupied either. I could tell by politely and legally looking through the windows. Most of them were cleared out, but a few weren't. They still had plates and other knickknacks left hanging around, like the owners had left without bothering to pack. "You shouldn't hang around here, mister." The girl who appeared stood a good 20 feet away, shouting over the wind so as to be heard. "Smell can make you awful sick." I wrinkled my nose, aware of the odor she was talking about. Had been since I approached the empty lot. A faint musty smell that made me think of an exotic pet shop. "What do you mean?" "Smell makes you sick." She said it like it was self-explanatory. Woman who died there left behind an awful stench, made the neighbors sick, and the neighbors' neighbors, and so on for a couple trailers in a row. No one likes to live there now. Still can't. Had a couple move in a year or two back, and they got sick too. Daddy says it's a bad one. Not even the rats go near that hole. The smell wasn't pretty, but this trailer park looked like the kind of place where hubcaps went missing regularly. Figured they would have been used to bad smells. What made this one so special? I looked over at the girl. Where is your dad? A few minutes later, I was stood outside a trailer, waiting pensively. The little girl had disappeared inside to fetch her father, and since then, I've been sat listening to the quietest trailer park in the whole world. Crickets and silence, traffic on a distant highway. Place was dying, that much was clear. When the father finally made an appearance, he said nothing for the first few minutes, lit a cigarette, offered me one. I refused on account of having quit some time back. After a while, he spoke up. I'd invite you in, but you've been hanging around that old lot. Not sure I want you inside my home. No offense. None taken, I replied. Sally says you're a historian. The man wasn't terribly old, mid-30s at a guess, but he looked me up and down like I was a teenager caught throwing eggs at his house. What are you really? PI, I replied. Ha, now that makes sense. Some relative looking for answers. Heard the Hendersons had a sister with money. That's exactly it, I lied. She didn't buy the official story. Nor should she, he replied. Henderson was fit as a fiddle day he moved in. Weren't no justice in what happened to those who got sick. And poor Francine, they say she died of natural causes. Man, even back then, I knew it was nonsense, and I was just a little kid. The smell alone. Think it's bad now, but at the time, before they came in with a crane to lift the trailer up whole and move it to the dump, it was something awful. There was talk of moving the whole park. Of course, no one gave enough of a damn to give us the go-ahead and actually do it. What did she die of? Don't know. Only thing I'm sure of is that girl of Francine's lied. Said her mother was live and well when she left before the weekend, and they was always on good terms, but that was nonsense. We heard 'em fighting for weeks before, for one. And of course the body, state it was in. Ain't no way it had been rotten for just a few days. He offered me another cigarette. I refused. He lit it up instead. Second one in what felt like just a few minutes. Made me itchy just to see. I wanted to say something, anything to get a little bit more. But I told a big lie pretending to be there on someone else's behalf and didn't want to catch myself out. So I just sat and listened to the quiet buzz of his little patio light. After the second cigarette was done, he reached into his back pocket and took out an old photo. I hope you find justice for Henderson and the rest of them, he said. Only real bit of proof I ever had of something fishy going on. He handed me the picture. It wasn't easy to see what I was looking at. Pile of old leaves maybe, mulch. I squinted at it for a good few seconds, but couldn't make heads or tails out of it. What? Took that the day they arrived to get rid of the trailer. Had to stand on my friend's shoulders just to reach. What is it? I asked, my skin starting to crawl as I picked out details. Whatever I was looking at, it was slumped on the sofa with floral wallpaper in the background. It was about the size of a man, but riddled with holes and cavities the size of golf balls. In my whole life, I'd never seen something that looked like that. Why, that's Francine, he said. Or at least, what was left of her.
I'm gonna take a piss and grab a beer.
He let me keep the photo. At a guess, that was the only interesting thing that had ever happened to that man, and he'd been waiting to share it with someone. All I had to do was give him an excuse. He seemed to take some pleasure in passing it on. Certainly found my reaction to be amusing. I must have gone pale as I grappled with thoughts of what had happened to make a body go bad like that. Back in the hotel, under a good light, I checked that picture again and again. Something about it made me deeply uncomfortable, knowing a woman was under all that. All those holes and crevices must have been made in her flesh, and what had happened to her skin that had turned it such a funny texture? Looked furry, like the kind of thing that grows on top of a long-forgotten cup of coffee. A part of me considered asking my client about this, but I knew that wasn't the way to go. First, she probably wouldn't tell me good job if I had to ask. She hired me to do a certain thing, and that didn't involve politely requesting information right from the source. Second, well, I'd read the police reports, what was publicly available anyway, and she'd made it clear she'd left on the Friday and came home on the Monday. And, well, what if that guy was right? Did she really leave her mother alive and well? I mean, people kill, not just psychos.
Check this back,
People
like
like you and me,
so I can get caught up with
a cup of coffee. Back in the hotel, under a good light, I checked that picture again and again. Something about it made me deeply uncomfortable, knowing a woman was under all that. All those holes and crevices must have been made in her flesh, and what had happened to her skin that had turned it such a funny texture? Looked furry, like the kind of thing that grows on top of a long-forgotten cup of coffee. A part of me considered asking my client about this, but I knew that wasn't the way to go. First, she probably wouldn't tell me good job if I had to ask. She hired me to do a certain thing, and that didn't involve politely requesting information right from the source. Second, well, I'd read the police reports, what was publicly available anyway, and she'd made it clear she'd left on the Friday and came home on the Monday. And, well, what if that guy was right? Did she really leave her mother alive and well? I mean, people kill, not just psychos. People like you and me. We do it every day, and sometimes we even pull it off. Only half of US murders get solved. That's a fact. If anyone could be the right half of that equation, it'd be her. She was smart as hell, my client. Even at 17, she would have been a clever one. Clever enough that she might easily have been able to cover her tracks, gone over to some boyfriend, twisted his arm into giving her an alibi. Sure, I could see that. I just needed to figure out what the hell was going on with that crime scene in the trailer. Thankfully, I got some friends still on the force, one of which I even have a bit of leverage on. At first, he couldn't find much on the actual mother. But then I asked him to see if he could take the photo I had, show it around, and see if anyone had seen something like it before. That proved a lot more fruitful. A few days later, he came back with a strange one. But straight away, I saw the connection. I'll spare the details. Old man was found in a tub, all sorts of messed up, in some old apartment building. It had since been condemned on account of the body, which is fairly weird since bodies don't usually cause that much fuss, but less weird when you realise that said body was in such a bad state it made 3 people sick and caused long-lasting structural damage. Whatever happened to this guy, it ate through the tub he'd been lying in and seeped into the floors and walls below, turned plasterboard to mulch, and apparently even caused some trouble for the sturdier elements like steel and concrete. I don't know how that works exactly, but that's what the file said, and going by the photos, I didn't feel like anyone was lying. As for the photos, what can I say? Made my skin crawl. No blurry little Polaroids snapped by a kid. These were professional crime scene pictures that showed something in a tub that didn't register as human until my eyes went looking for details. He looked like a hairy paper wasp's nest, only there were fingers and nipples and other little things that made it clear it had been built using a person as the framework. No face though, just a head like a pile of used paper plates. Looking at those photos made me learn a new word just to describe how I felt. Trypophobia. Wasn't just one guy either. The building was linked to the disappearance of the ground floor tenant, some computer geek. I didn't worry about him too much, but what did catch my eye was there was only one woman living in the whole place. Second floor apartment. The registered name was somewhat familiar. Close enough to a certain someone's that it raised the hairs on my neck. Police at the scene managed to get a photo of her. And sure enough, there she was. My client, going by a different name. Clearly something fishy was going on. Or else, why the pseudonym? I figured it possible she'd maybe offed her own mother. Parents and spouses make the most common victims. But what connection was there to that second corpse? And what about the missing guy? It was like a horror movie was following her around, and she was just blissfully unaware. Condemned buildings and festering trailers made for a far cry from the professional accountant who enjoyed oat milk lattes and used sweetener instead of sugar to spare her teeth. But there was no denying that she was connected. There was photographic proof she lived in that building. And if I wanted to get ahead of this, to really understand what was going on, I had to figure out what had happened to those bodies. I'd pretty much exhausted my favors with the police, and truth was, they didn't know any more than I did. But it turned out the building was still standing, condemned, but they hadn't demolished it, partly because no one wanted to take responsibility. But I reckon it might have had something to do with the biohazard warnings slapped on every single window and door. Good thing I brought a gas mask. I waited for sunset, geared up, and entered through the unlocked door. First thing that hit me as the door swung open was the smell. Similar to the trailer park, but full pelt and hot as well. Made me think of lizards in poorly kept terrariums, strong enough to make my eyes water even through the mask. One thing was clear as I took a look around the hallway. The building was diseased. Not just run down or decrepit like the usual urban decay. This was something else. Looked like the inside of a clogged pipe. You know how limescale fills it up? It was a bit like that. This oily, rusty-coloured fluid had seeped down the walls and left them glistening and soft. Ropey stalactites of the stuff hung down from the ceiling like old party banners, and I edged around them, afraid of what might happen if one touched me. Best guess was that stuff was digesting the place. Anything soft or organic was going or gone. Old umbrella frames were left standing in one corner, the fabric burnt or dissolved away. The carpet was reduced to just a few patches no bigger than my hand, and a bunch of old cardboard boxes piled up under the stairs had turned squat and half liquid, almost flowing down and around each other.
I can't loot that. I can't loot that.
The worst came when I took a look around the back room. More of a broom closet, I guess. Wouldn't have gone in, but something caught my eye. A well-worn shoe that wasn't covered in oily stuff. Sign of recent activity. That, and the way the door was ajar, just raised my suspicions. So, I took a look. Even now, the timeline eludes me. But someone, a vagrant most likely, given the way they were dressed, died a nasty death in there. Chemical burns come to mind. They were balled up in one corner, eyeless, looking up at me as I pushed the door open to take a closer look. Pink flesh threaded with red blood vessels, yellow bones poking through here and there. From the looks of things, they'd been trying to work the door open. You could see a history of their escape attempts left by bleeding hands. Rust-colored finger streaks ran all along the door's edges, special attention paid to the hinges. And he'd broken the only window and tried hauling himself up there, only to realize it was barred from the other side. The jagged glass that still clung to the frame was covered in old blood. His palms must have looked like grated cheese. Eventually, he'd given up and laid down in that mess, and the thought of it made my chest feel heavy and tight. I'd only been in the building a few minutes, and that stuff was already eating through my shoes. I could hear the thick rubber soles sizzle and pop with each step. But that guy had been forced to sit down in an inch-deep puddle of the stuff, likely because exhaustion had left him no choice but to tough it out. So how long had he tried to stay upright? Hours, days, weeks. Him getting stuck in there had to be deliberate. I was sure of it. A feeling in my gut. Someone had locked the door behind him and left him to die slowly. God only knows why. But did that mean they were still hanging around and waiting for a chance to get to me? Looking around, I sure didn't feel safe or alone. The shadows seemed too deep, and the steady drip, drip, drip of that rancid oil oozing out of every surface was too monotonous. Someone or something lived in that filth, and chances were they'd been responsible for that poor vagrant's agonizing death. That meant getting out of that hellhole was a priority. So I made for the stairs and started to climb. If there were any answers in that place, it had been the apartment where the old man died. The crime scene tape was still hanging off the doorframe when I found it, and the TV and sofa, or what remained of them, stood in the same place as in the photos. Back in the day, the old man had been a hoarder, and I was surprised crime scene hadn't cleared all that stuff out. It was all still there. Only what had once been a chest-high maze of papers and magazines was now just kind of hardened pulp, almost like magma dried mid-flow. The whole damn place was covered in the stuff, like coral reef, growing up the walls and even patches of the ceiling. Looked a hell of a lot like a wasp's nest, and it looked to be the source of that oily-looking fluid. You could see it sweating out of every crease and fold in that strange hive. It was almost hypnotic to look at. Glistening amber beads oozing out of papery sheets that flowed like rock strata. There was a gentle, barely perceptible rhythm. Hypnotic. I don't know why, but I reached out and ran the tip of my finger as gently as I could along the surface. It felt like the underside of a mushroom. All those papery gills, gossamer thin, soft and inviting. I wore no gloves, and the brief moment of contact had deposited a single bead of that strange syrup on my fingertip. It caused a tingling sensation that was not entirely unpleasant. Even the blood that trickled down my knuckle felt warm and wet, like testing a hot bath with your hand. I liked it, and I wanted more. I went to reach out and push my arm into the nest when a hand burst out of the nest and gripped my wrist. I was so surprised I didn't even make a noise, but instead wordlessly fell back as the hand pushed me away from the nest. A nearly skinless forearm followed, and soon after, a face emerged from the papery nest like a grime-covered nightmare. Black eyes and a lipless mouth. It was a man that could have passed for a corpse, like a half-digested piece of meat. Terrified, I struggled to my feet and realized that this person had broken damn near every bone in my wrist with that single grip. "Your meat smells raw," he growled before heaving himself out of the nest in a disgusting parody of childbirth. My sanity flickered, and the next thing I knew, I was on the ground floor with bleeding eyes and both hands frantically pulling at the door handle. My mind returned in pieces. I blinked red tears away, but didn't stop trying to open the door. I felt it. That urgent need to leave, like a suffocating man feels the need to breathe. But I'd messed up bad. I'd sniffed out of the closet and saw the trap laid there, but hadn't seen the larger one set for me. There was only one way in and out of that building, and I hadn't jammed the door open. Now it was shut, and nothing I did could get it open. With more time, maybe I could have pried the jamb or even kicked it down, but my heart was racing and my vision was blurring. I wanted out of that place, a hot primal need to get the hell out. The air was too hot, my mask too stifling, sweat condensed on the inner plastic and made it damn near impossible to see. And the pain in my wrist was a throbbing explosion that made sensible thought impossible. I'd realized early on into my little foray that I was underprepared, but the scale of what that meant eluded me, until I was there, wrestling with thoughts of exposure and contagion and disease, fumbling at a greasy doorknob with a broken hand, while suppressing thoughts of what might be crawling up my leg or back or neck. Panic threatened to consume me. The world, and all the normality it represented, was right down there. I could hear it. The distant hum of traffic, the amber glow of streetlights that lit up the biohazard posters. Not 30 minutes ago I'd been there, safe and far away from this waking nightmare. I was being reduced to a prey animal. Even in the moment, I could sense it happening to me, being made into something lesser. But it was like my actions were no longer my own. When I finally gave up on that front door, I turned around and saw the shadows way back of the hallway begin to shift as something descended the stairwell. There was no other way out. No door, no window. Just me, a long corridor, and a nightmare coming right at me. Something inside me gave up. I don't know how to describe it. I'm still not sure if it was that building and that strange fluid that seemed to warp my own thoughts, or maybe there's just too much one person can go through. But I could practically hear the thin membrane of my sanity tear as I fell backwards into the door and slid down, breathlessly awaiting my terrible fate. I almost contemplated turning off my light, but by then it was too late. I could see him coming towards me. He was legless, nothing from the waist down except blackened viscera trailing up the stairs behind him. He pulled himself towards, hand over hand, with hungry eyes. Before I knew it, he was on top of me, one hand gripping my mouth with a salty palm, the other stroking my hair. And then, in an instant, his demeanor changed. He pulled back with a terrified cry and scrambled away like I'd just struck him with a blade. "No, no, 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 no," he muttered. "No, no, you should have said, I didn't know. I thought you were another one. I didn't know, I thought you were here for me. I didn't know you were hers." He cowered away, pedaling on both hands backwards while keeping his eyes fixed on me. "Tell her I did not know you were hers. I could not smell until I was close, very close. If I hurt you, I am sorry. Tell her I am sorry. I did not mean to hurt you. It is just, I do not get to eat often, and I'm always hungry. With a rapid gesture, he threw a key for the door at me. It skittered across the floor and fell just short of my feet. Tell her I did not know. What are you? I stammered. He looked at me, curiously, stopping his retreat only briefly to gauge my expression. She likes to be seen, but I looked without asking, and I got what I deserve. Who are you talking about? I asked. He very nearly laughed, but with such deformities, it was mostly a drooling guffaw. You know, he gasped. Don't be stupid. You're in love with her, just like me, but different. You got permission. I didn't. She was good. She left me an old nest to live in, and I've permission to eat anything I kill or trap myself. Hard now that people know to stay away, but sometimes I get lucky. His eyes flicked to the closet with sickening hunger. What has this got to do with her? I asked. What colour are her eyes? He replied, almost manic with excitement. Answer, answer, tell me, what colour are her eyes? I stopped. The word felt wrong in my mouth. Blue. No, he chittered. None of those. Seemingly excited but afraid, he raced forward momentarily and gripped my lapels with twisted glee. Compound, he hissed with such forbidden pleasure. Her eyes are compound. She's jealous of us, you know. Jealous we get to love her. And then he disappeared into the darkness, and something inside me gave way entirely, and I passed out. I don't know much of what came after exactly. I was found a few hours later in my car, idling at a traffic light. I'd made some effort at getting away on my own, but didn't get very far. No surprise here, but I got sick as a dog going in that place. A deep chest infection, the kind that scares everyone at least once in their life. Only fair, given how stupid I was. But forgive me, I hadn't anticipated nightmares beyond human comprehension. I challenge anybody to think that far ahead. You think junkies, you think flies, squatters, but that guy, that man, slipping out of the nest and barreling towards me on 2 hands. My mind going sizzle pop along with the soles of my boots. In real life, things like that always sneak up on you. So I paid the price. 6 months. Jeez. 6 long months. I got every fever you can think of. Sepsis, kidney failure, liver failure. Month after month, drowning in my own fluids. Coughing up stuff that made the nurses gag and leave. I asked the doctor what the long-term effects will be, and he winced before reading a list of things that didn't leave much hope for a happy retirement. And if it was hard on my body, it was even worse on my mind. Those fever dreams. Doctors say what I remember in that building, that was all just part of the sickness. Say I spent a good 3 days in a coma and strange dreams are the norm, which I might accept if it weren't the damn skin graft still healing in my right hand. No one can explain that. My client visited, just the once. There are universally sad moments in life, and one of them is realizing someone you have a lot of affection for doesn't have it back. They have some, just not the same amount. It was always one way though, wasn't it? I saw her every single day, but if I was doing my job right, she only saw me once a month for our meetings. Our arrangement ended not long after. So I hope anyway. She left me like it was nothing. But me. Ah, jeez. It felt like someone excavated my heart right out. Even after what she told me why she was there, even after what I did, I could barely stand up straight. I was so heartbroken. There were times after that I wished the sickness would just take me. Maybe that defeatism is why it got so bad. Who knows? She came to me looking for a recommendation of all things. She wasn't cold, far from it, but there was a sense of disappointment as she sat beside me and eyed me up. I liked the initiative, she said after a while, but the results leave me unimpressed. What the hell happened in that place? I asked. And even though I could barely hear my own voice, she seemed like she heard every word. For a moment, the way she contemplated it, I thought I was going to get a straight answer. You know, my mother said, men don't see ugly women. They know they exist, but they just poof them right out of their mind, like a magic trick. She said we worked better being a little plain, good enough to take home for a night. Anymore, then we'd start to leave problems everywhere we go. That guy was a problem. She was trying to warn me about the dangers of attention, but silly me, I went and got addicted. I hoped with you there might be a degree of separation, infatuation on a contractual basis. She took a deep breath, like she'd had a long, hard day. I don't know. Maybe Mom was right.
Okay, hello.
It's ridiculous, I suppose. The fly shouldn't admire the spider. It either sees it and fears it, or doesn't know what's coming until it's too late. I think Mom was telling me to go for the latter. It's no fun being invisible, though. You spent all that time looking at me,
Yeah, I'm
following
pretty
me.
sure. What's her name?
What did you
like,
see?
White man comes out once I kill like
I looked at
the
her
other boss
until my
dude,
eyes watered,
but I kind
and
of just
something
accidentally
throbbed in my
cleaved him down
skull.
there. Normally I don't do that.
I don't know.
Like
I tried to
pretty
lie.
well even AOE.
Be honest. She looked
Alright,
right at me,
third time's the damn
and something
charm, I
in the
guess.
air
Fuck
changed.
me.
I don't know
Actually,
what.
probably gonna be like a gold repair
Hot.
maybe for all the damage I've
Jeez,
taken
it was
from
hot.
these two ducks.
Like looking at the sun. I remember the heart rate monitor going nuts. And then I remember gossamer wings and serrated chitin. A tick on the side of your cheek, a leech on your tongue, a horsehair worm that won't leave the skin. And then an instant later, my eyes refocused, and there was just a normal woman in front of me. Someone I could have loved, I answered, unable to stop the words spilling like vomit. Someone who I thought deserved love. See, she said, who wouldn't like your version better? I was crying again, heart racing, whirled like butter, going soft at the edges. Whatever she did, it was like undergoing brain surgery in real time. I'd like a recommendation, she said after another minute or two of silence. I'd like to see myself. I look in the mirror, and I don't see what you do. I'd like an artist to paint me, a version of me at least. It won't be easy on them. All this time, you've probably looked directly at me for no more than 5-10 minutes in total. Just didn't realize it. Always the back of my head, or my hair obscuring just so. That won't do. I want a portrait. I want to know what you see. What will you do then? I won't do anything. Not intentionally. But if you ask someone to paint the sun, expect them to go blind. Whoever paints me will be painting the sun in their living room. Going blind is the least of their problems. Now, fess up. You know someone. You mentioned them once in passing. A cousin maybe. An artist in need of cash, I'm sure of it. Why would I tell you anything? Because you love me, she said. And because despite everything, you will get better, and you will come back to me. A year or two, I think. You are adamant I have no hold on you, and you will think that for a long time. In this period of freedom, you will enjoy it, only by my good grace and mercy. You did a good job, better than anyone before. I've read your notes and reports over and over, and seen details of myself I didn't even know were there. It's a thing of beauty, what you did, and one day soon, you'll come back to me, with some excuse for why you want the contract to continue. I tried to spit the word never, but managed, at best, a weak shake of the head. Something that put a most peculiar smile on her face. It doesn't work like that. It'd be like trying to brute force your way through Alzheimer's. You'll be back. Even now you're mine. All mine. I'm just being gentle. And you're going to give me the name and number of that artist because even though you know I could no more love you than a spider loves the fly, you are desperate to please me. Because when I broke the man in that apartment building, when I tore him in two and told him that he would live there for as long as I desired, writhing without air for years and years, drowning in sickly fluid and trapped helplessly in a hive, he's determined to maintain, even though I wouldn't be caught dead going back there. He was grateful, and with time, you'll be grateful too. She put a pen in my hand. She smiled, mouthed the word, "Good boy." And God help me, I gave her my nephew's number.
Ocarina of Time has quite the reputation in the gaming community. In fact, Metacritic would have you believe that it's the greatest game of all time, and as it turns out, many would also have you believe that it's the greatest speed game of all time. Now that may or may not be true, I don't know, but what I do know is that it has one of the most fascinating histories of any speed game. In addition to being the second most popular game on speedrun.com, OOT is well known for the huge variety of glitches that have continued to redefine how this game is ran time and time again, across all of its categories. But this video will mainly focus on any percent. Before we get started, I'd like to thank Summoning Salt for giving me the AOK to go ahead with this video, as inspired by his World Record Progression series. Alright, first of all, let's quickly discuss how this game is intended to be beaten. You start the game as Child Link, who you play as to beat 3 dungeons, each rewarding you with a stone. With all 3 stones in hand, you can obtain the Master Sword and become Adult Link. Now you have 5 more dungeons to face: the Forest Temple, Fire Temple, Water Temple, Shadow Temple, and Spirit Temple, all rewarding you with a medallion. The Shadow and Spirit Temples are supposed to be the final 2 that you beat, so the game has a check in place on the Shadow and Spirit medallions. When these are collected, you can trigger the Light Arrow cutscene, which pretty much marks the end game. In the Light Arrow cutscene, you get given the Light Arrows, needed to kill Ganondorf, and then head over to Ganon's Tower to finish the game. Now let's take a look at how all of these restrictions have slowly but surely been destroyed. OOT's story begins at the good old Twin Galaxies forum, a speedrun and high score website. Nowadays, this site is often overlooked and even mocked by modern speedrunners due to its more traditional mindset, and, well, controversies, but it certainly holds a lot of important history. On the 31st of March 2003, a very, very excited poster lets the world know about a new remarkable run of Ocarina of Time. Gamer Michael Damiani, who hails from Texas in the USA, has set a blistering pace of 6 hours, 45 minutes and 17 seconds from start to finish and takes the place of first in the world at this title. The run didn't use any form of major glitches and finished the game in the same way as I previously described. If such a time was set today, it would probably be laughed at, but it was no joke when it was set. The runner, Michael Damiani, also known by his screen name TSA, was the dominating force in Ocarina of Time for a number of years. Up until 2005, TSA brought his time lower and lower, making use of some minor tricks. Even back then, players were helping each other out on forums to bring the time as low as possible. For instance, in this comment, Samsim tells TSA about a strategy to quickly get the boss key in the Spirit Temple, which TSA went on to use in his 5 hour and 4 minute run. It's also worth pointing out that many glitches were often quickly banned by Twin Galaxies, putting players like TSA off from using them. A lot of glitches were known way back in the 90s, which we can see in this Game FAQs guide from 1999. For instance, here's a bottle duplication glitch, which was quickly banned by TG. And TG even went as far as to ban this glitch in the Shadow Temple that doesn't even exist. They couldn't be bothered to verify that this glitch actually worked before banning it. Anyway, back to TSA. He gained a level of fame and some media attention for his runs. Here's an MTV article from 2005. For Texas's Mike Damiani, 22, the outer limit is the 5 hour mark on the 1998 Nintendo 64 game The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. To conquer the game by that mark requires sustained focus. You can't be perfect at this game for 5 hours, he said. Some mistakes are going to slip in. Well, wise words from Mr. Damiani there. As for Damiani's efforts to break the 5 hour barrier on Zelda, he estimates he's played Ocarina of Time for 10,000 hours, training more than 3 weeks at a time to pull off a single run, throwing controllers and cursing when he dies in the last minutes of an attempt, and tends to go without food on the day of a run. Well, if that paragraph is true, Mr. Damiani here definitely puts any modern speedrunner to shame in terms of dedication. Well, almost. The article ends with Michael's mother chiming in, who can't believe that her recently graduated son is talking to MTV News about his speedruns. I said to him, "You're graduating, you have a degree, can't you get a real job out of this?" Unfortunately for Michael and his mother, he was never able to make his millions from his alleged 10,000 hours of OOT gameplay. In fact, it would be 7 years until any speedrunner was able to make a living from their...
Hold on. 10,000 hours. How many years is that? Because they say it's like 10,000 hours to master a craft. How much years is 10,000 hours? So it's like 1.14 or 1.141553 years non-stop. Like if he was playing non-stop that video. I don't know how many like that. I don't know. 10,000 hours. Oh, when did... Okay, hold on. Let me get another quick... This math isn't mathing to me. Hold on. When did Ocarina of Time come out? Okay, 1998. And when did he get this? 2005 or 4? Okay, yeah. No, okay. Maybe it kind of does check out. Maybe this dude did play 10,000 hours, but I was thinking like... no way. I don't think I've even played... I've maybe played... I don't even know if maybe even 1,000 hours. Like, I feel like I played hundreds of hours in Ocarina of Time, but, like, I'm not replaying it over and over to speedrun, because it's... I don't know all the skips, so it's a long, like, way to play it, glitchless. Basically, like, this first original Chad was just playing it all glitchless with some little tricks to speed up his runs, like, and he could do it in 5 hours or something. I remember I've had a stream where I had, like, a 6-hour stream. It was just, like, Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, like, up to, like, I think the water temple. I was like, okay, I'm going to sleep or whatever. Like, I was just burnt out. It was, like, 6-7 hours of streams. So it was like, this guy was kind of a Chad for his time. But, I'll be right back. I gotta take a piss, grab a beer. Maybe one more run here. I mean, I think we've almost made 100 gold in today's session. It's kind of like I'm getting, like, 10 golds on average per run, and like it's kind of almost like a 10-minute run. I mean, but then we got to include the run back to Brill to vendor everything and like repair my gear, etc. every run. So if I had more bank space and bag space, I could probably do 2 runs before having to like go in a vendor, but I don't think that's happening. Like I could trade some reels in for like some 18, or it's just one 18 slot bag. I don't know if you could buy some. I'd need these traveler backpack things for bank space as well, because I think I got like 12 or 14 slot bags for my bank. And I could spend 100G for one more, the final 7th bank slot. But I've never had that much amount of gold to where I want to spend 100 gold for more bank space yet. Because I still have like a fucking normal 60% mount. If I can save up 650 gold while spending some on the side every week for like raids or raid supplies for like MC, I should be able to like maybe in the next week or two save up gold to like get my Frostwolf Howler. I think that's like 650 gold instead of like 900 or whatever it is to buy like the racial mount. I mean, I don't really exactly super need this mount. Because, like, in next phase, I could get rank 11 and then buy, like, the fastest PvP mount for, like, 60 or whatever. Something less than 100 gold type of deal. That would save me so much time. Well, so much gold. I mean, Frostwolf Howler, I kind of always get that on almost all my characters. That mount is fucking badass looking. Especially with the like Tauren model, makes it look bigger. Alright, I'll be right back. I gotta take a piss, grab a beer.
runs, and by that time Michael Damiani was working at Game Trailers. But I digress. He ended his OOT career with his final world record run at 4 hours 57 minutes. It should be noted that this
really
run isn't actually below 5 hours by the widely accepted timer method today. Back then, most runners were starting their timer after the intro cutscene is over, but nowadays most people time from the initial file select. TSA may have left his mark on OOT as a runner, but back to the graphic from earlier. Nothing's changed yet, so who would be the first glitch hunter to really make their mark on OOT and change how the game is ranked? Look no further than Akrite. In 2005, a Crite discovered what could be considered the first major skip in OOT, Trial Skip in Ganon's Castle. This video from Cheezo Man demonstrates a Crite's discovery. By using this almost, you can perform an acute angle clip through the wall and then access a loading zone from out of bounds, skipping the bulk of Ganon's Castle. This glitch was actually known about when TSA performed its 457 run, but at the time, SDA didn't allow out-of-bounds glitches, so TSA didn't make use of it. Despite this, in February of 2006, mis-Edventures, also known as AKA, became the first person to beat TSA with a run of 4 hours, 40 minutes and 32 seconds. This run was not considered to be the same category as TSA's runs, because it made use of a Crite's trial skip using out-of-bounds. Sadly, nothing seems to be left of this run besides some dead file front links, but anyway, much credit to a Crite for being the first person to start paving the path forward in OOT's major skips. But actually, this wasn't much compared to what another pair of glitch hunters were about to find. Let's turn our attention to the Zelda Chaos website, which documents glitches and was founded in 2001. In 2005, a glitch called Gerudo Child was submitted to the website by two users going by the name MM and AT. The glitch involves using a bomb to damage boost past the Gerudo Gate, allowing you to get to the Gerudo Fortress early as a child. Now by itself, this was not a very useful glitch, but a user called Mochox on the SDA forum discovered two more glitches in late 2005 that made this very useful. He explained how it was possible to enter the Haunted Wasteland early as Child Link using this out-of-bounds trick. From here, you can cross the quicksand with this backwalk trick.
I actually kind of know of this deck. I used this for one of my Zelda.
And what all of this ultimately means is that you can access the Spirit Temple early, which, if you recall, is supposed to be one of the final two dungeons.
You kind of have to go towards the Spirit Temple in this other game. The Sunken Palace. Sealed Palace, that's what it was called.
But before we proceed any further, who exactly were these mysterious players MM and AT? It turns out MM is Morima Stonen from Finland, also known by his screen name Kazooie, and AT is Library, whose real name is unknown. Kazooie made his first post on the Speed Demos Archive forum on February 28, 2006. The following month, on the 20th of March, Kazooie posted that he had refined his Gerudo Child trick, finding a way to do it without bombs, instead making clever use of a cuckoo. This trick became known as Cuckoo Jump. To perfectly complement Spirit Temple early, Kazooie posted another big discovery on the 3rd of March 2006, this time Shadow Temple early. A damage boost from a bomb is used to access this high up area around the graveyard. You can then walk across this seam until you get up close to the Shadow Temple entrance. From here, mis-Edventures discovered that you could side hop down to the Shadow Temple entrance, and the physical door to the temple will not load in, meaning you can just walk straight inside. The smart ones out there will have already picked up on the implications of these two glitches. Since the game only checks for the Shadow and Spirit medallions, you can skip completing the previous 3 dungeons by glitching to the Shadow and Spirit Temple early. mis-Edventures was the first person to discover this 3 days after Shadow Early was found, and it was with these new discoveries that the Japanese first got their hands on the OOT record. Runs with this new major skip route were commonly referred to as 5 boss edition runs within the Japanese community. A Japanese player known as 7 Blanks set 3 records of this route. This archived Japanese page documents his world record times, which he took as low as 2:51.54 in January 2007. Honestly, I can't read this page, so I'm going to let Google Translate work its magic and see what it can do for me. Well, I suppose it's not too bad, but Google Translate interprets this page about as well as a weeb interprets a subbed anime. And the same story goes for this page, which gives a commentary on the run. But if you can read Japanese, then feel free to give this a read. Believe it or not, by the time 7 Blanks took the world record for Japan with Shadow and Spirit early, another even more broken route had already been theorised by Akrite 6 months prior, a route that could have been faster. So what is this route and why was nobody using it? Let's take a look at the video Akrite uploaded on the 27th of July 2006 and see what he discovered. The video starts with Akrite showing his inventory. Nothing interesting about it at the moment, but we'll get back to it later. The first thing you'll notice is that Akrite has a bottle on the B button. Interesting, because usually the B button is only used for swords. He then puts down the Master Sword to become Child Link, and then immediately picks it back up again to become Adult Link.
They must be pure.
Suddenly, he has the light arrows on the B button, despite never obtaining the light arrows before. By obtaining the light arrows early, you can skip the Shadow and Spirit medallions as well as the light arrow cutscene. But how did Akrite do that? This glitch is known as Bottle Adventure, and it was originally discovered by Kazooie and Library. Bottle Adventure is a somewhat complicated glitch, and I don't want to go too far into the technicalities of how complex glitches work, but I will give you a simplified explanation. Bottle Adventure, or BA, allows you to manipulate Link's B button and put items onto it, even items you've never collected before. The first step to start Bottle Adventure is getting a bottle onto the B button. Doing this takes a few steps. Firstly, you have to go to the fishing minigame, which puts the fishing rod onto the B button. Then you have to perform this glitch with the hover boots, which lets you steal the fishing rod and keep it even after you leave the minigame. To skip past some technicalities, you can then pause and unpause the game after climbing this ladder, and a Deku stick will be placed onto the B button. Now you can perform a bottle duplication glitch to duplicate a bottle over the Deku sticks on B. And now you have a bottle on the B button. The next step in Bottle Adventure, the critical part, is to go backwards in time and forwards in time again, as you saw in Akrite's video. When you go forwards in time, the game checks Adult Link's equipped bottles and updates them, because their contents may have changed whilst you were playing as Child Link. But the developers never expected you to have a bottle on the B button, so the game is not properly programmed to update bottles that are on the B button. What ends up happening is that the game looks at Child Link's C right button. Whatever is on C right will point to somewhere in Link's inventory. In Akrite's video, you can see that he has fish on C right, and the fish points to the Deku Nut count. Akrite has 18 Deku Nuts, and 18 is OOT's internal value to represent light arrows. So when the game tries to update Link's bottle on B, it ends up updating with the value of the light arrows. Who would have thought, eh? So with this glitch, you could theoretically get the light arrows early, then access Ganon's castle early with another glitch found by Akrite, and finish the game without the Shadow and Spirit medallions. The main reason nobody tried any runs with this route lies within the fishing minigame. This hover boots glitch to steal the fishing rod only works on version 1.0 of the game, and SDA banned version exclusive glitches at the time, so nobody was trying runs with this route. And interestingly enough, the same problem occurred again at OOT's next major breakthrough in April of 2007, when Akrite posted that he finally understood Reverse Bottle Adventure. Reverse Bottle Adventure is similar to Bottle Adventure, but it's a little bit different. It allows you to break the game even more, and it doesn't require moving backwards or forwards in time. Bottle Adventure allows you to write items onto the B button, but Reverse Bottle Adventure allows you to write items directly into your inventory. Here's a quick example to demonstrate how this works. In this clip, I have a bottle on B and I have the Lens of Truth on C right. When I drop the bugs in my bottle, the game will try to update the bottle in my inventory, but it isn't properly programmed to update bottles on the B button. It ends up looking at the value of my item on C right, in this case the Lens of Truth. The Lens of Truth happens to point to slot 15 in the inventory, which is the slot for the Megaton Hammer. So after I drop my bugs, you'll see that a bottle has been written over the Megaton hammer slot. On the 26th of April 2007, a Crite discovered the most broken item to do this with. Funnily enough, it's the broken Goron sword. A Crite makes full use of his caps lock to let us know how important the broken Goron sword is. When I perform reverse bottle adventure with the broken Goron sword on C right, the broken Goron sword will actually point to the medallion section of my inventory. So all I have to do is catch the bugs in my B bottle whilst broken Goron sword is on C right, and boom, the forest, water, shadow and spirit medallions have all been written into my inventory. I've kept these explanations as short as possible for the video, but if you want a more detailed explanation, I'll have some links in the description. Anyway, looking back to the graphic, it now looks something more like this. I mean, you still have to obtain the shadow and spirit medallions, but as soon as you get the broken Goron sword, you can just write them directly into your inventory. But of course, there's still the problem of the fishing rod glitch being version 1.0 only. Well, that is until this young man uploaded this video to YouTube on the 12th of September 2007. Even for 07, I'm not sure I can forgive this video quality, so here's a better quality version instead. Instead of using the hover boots, you can dive near the edge of the water and cast the rod just as you pop out. You'll then be able to steal the rod on any version, and you don't need to go out of your way to get the hover boots. As you'd imagine, this opened the floodgates for a wave of new world records with the use of reverse bottle adventure. But before we get to the next records, there's something else we must discuss. Looking at the graphic, it's pretty clear to see two major bottlenecks still present in the route. Or route, as I should say, being English. But anyway, firstly, you still need to collect the light arrows in one way or another to kill Ganondorf. And also, you still need to collect the 3 stones before obtaining the Master Sword. The Door of Time here is the big pesky door that blocks you off from the Master Sword until you obtain the 3 stones first. For many years, skipping this door was somewhat of a holy grail of OOT speedruns, due to how major of a skip it would be. You certainly can't hover over the door with the bomb hover glitch. No conventional methods of clipping seem to work. And no matter how many migraines you give Link from bonking his head on the door, you'll never get past it. But on the 22nd of March 2008, Toby Sammet uploaded this video to YouTube. He discovered that with the correct angle, you can side hop and clip straight through this corner of the door. Of course, this isn't enough to skip past the Door of Time, because Link just falls down into the void, but it was a start. Over the following days, the OOT community was frantically looking for a way to use this to skip past the door. And finally, on the 27th of March 2008, Mitijitsu uploaded this video to YouTube. Temple of Time skip. I must say that of all the glitches we've seen so far, this one makes me question that 99 rating the most. Nintendo's biggest barrier had been defeated with effectively a well-angled side hop. But to be fair, it did hold the glitch hunters back for a decade. But whatever, now the route is a lot shorter. Perform the Door of Time skip, get the broken Goron sword to RBA the medallions, and then get the light arrows and finish the game. It was with this route that a lot of the more recognisable faces today in 2017 first got their hands on the record. Mainly ZFG, SVA and Cosmo Wright. It's at this point I must point out that the legendary Cosmo Wright has since transitioned and is now known as Narcissorite. But for the purposes of this video, I'll be using the name Cosmo because all of the relevant events and video clips are from before the transition. Anyway, during this period, ZFG set the final world record on the US version of the game on the 16th of June 2011. It seems that after this point, players had taken notes from the Japanese runners and saw just how much faster the Japanese version is. If you're unaware, the Japanese version of OOT has much faster text, simply because it takes less symbols to create sentences in Japanese. This can save minutes throughout the course of a run. One notable world record run from this time period is this 55:36 by Zakio on the 23rd of October 2011. And yes, we've already got below the 1 hour mark now. Zakio is not well known these days, but he was prominent in 2011 and 2012. This run was thought to be so good in both gameplay and luck that many people suspected that it was spliced.
This is just insane because, okay, I have 2 hearts and I want a heart and I want a bomb drop. And then I get a heart and a bomb drop and it like is placed right in front of me.
For the uninitiated, splicing is a method of cheating a speedrun by editing different segments together to artificially create one full run, and then passing it off as a real-time speedrun. To this day, there's no hard evidence that Zakio ever cheated any of his runs. But whilst we're on the topic of cheaters and splicers, there's another very interesting event that also occurred in 2011. Remember that guy TSA from the start of the video? The God of OOT speedruns from the mid-2000s? Well, on the 28th of March 2011, SDA posted that they'd removed all of TSA's classic runs from the website. Upon review of TSA's runs, it's pretty clear to see a lot of splices. Like this one, where the music clearly cuts forward in the middle of a loading transition. The little rat. In fact, there are so many splices throughout TSA's runs that they fall apart like a cheap suit under a bit of scrutiny. But according to SDA, the verifiers of those runs couldn't have been reasonably expected to catch the cheating. Not sure if I can agree with that one, but either way, SDA's big verified no cheating definitely doesn't seem to be as credible as the capital letters would suggest. By the way, if you want to learn more about cheating in speedrunning, make sure to check out the previous video on my channel. So, with all of these big skips now in the run, was it possible to break the game any further? Well, I'm sure you can guess the answer to that. On the 8th of February 2012, Zakio achieved a 54:02 run. This would be the final record ever set with the reverse bottle adventure route, as a new major discovery was lurking just around the corner. On the 19th of February 2012, ChristianF23 posted 5 videos to the Zelda Speedruns forum that were not immediately relevant to any percent. These videos all show the same glitch, but each video demonstrates the glitch at a different temple. Let's take a look at one of the videos. This video begins with Christian at the very end of the water temple. He's next to the blue warp that warps Link outside of the dungeon after you've completed it. Usually, you lose control of Link as soon as you step into the warp, but Christian doesn't just step in the normal way. As you can see, he backflips. In midair, he then presses C down to activate the bottle, followed by B to activate the sword. This triggers a glitch called Ocarina Items, or OI, which makes Link play his sword as if it were the ocarina. When you perform OI on a blue warp, you can maintain control of Link even after the warp is trying to take you away. Christian takes advantage of this. He pulls a bomb and dies at the same time as the warp tries to take him away. When he respawns, he has successfully skipped the cutscene that usually plays after entering a blue warp. But Christian posted 4 other videos of him showing the same glitch in other dungeons, right? Let's check some of them out. Here's the Shadow Temple version. He performs a Y on the warp, dies at the same time it tries to take him away, and successfully skips the cutscene. Alright, one more, this time the Fire Temple. He performs a Y on the warp, dies at the same time it tries to take him away, and successfully skips the... Wait, what? When performed in the Fire Temple, this glitch not only skips the cutscene, but also warps you to a completely different area of the map, in this case, the Forest Temple. This was the initial discovery of the famous wrong warp glitch. But why does this glitch occur, and why did it only work in the Fire Temple? Time for a quick explanation. In OOT, there is something called the entrance table, as you see here. This is simply a list of every possible entrance to every area in the game. When a blue warp takes you away, it references this table by setting a base entrance value. The base entrance value is essentially the value of the next area to take Link to. But when you die, the base entrance value is overwritten with the value of your respawn destination, which is at the start of the dungeon. So, by dying at the same time a warp takes you away, you overwrite the base entrance value with the warp set, and skip the cutscene. So, what makes the Fire Temple any different from other temples? What makes it trigger the rung warp glitch, rather than just another cutscene skip? The Fire Temple's blue warp wants to take you to Kakariko Village, so it sets the base entrance value for Kakariko Village. But in this case, the game doesn't just want to take you to Kakariko. It wants to take you to a special version of Kakariko that is specially designed for the cutscene that will play there. In order to do this, the game sets another value, called the scene setup value. In the Fire Temple, this value is 7. These two values add together to create one final value, which is where Link will warp to. In the case of the Fire Temple, this is the special version of Kakariko Village, designed to play this cutscene. Now let's put this all together and look at what happens when you perform the rung warp. By dying, you overwrite the base entrance value with your respawn destination, which is the start of the dungeon. So 7 is added to the value of the start of the dungeon. In this case, this creates a final value of 016C in hex. If we look at the entrance table, this is the value of the Forest Temple. So the game ends up warping us to the Forest Temple. What's most incredible about this is that dying isn't the only way to overwrite the base entrance value and trigger a rung warp, as demonstrated by this video from Exodus on the 20th of February 2012. Instead of dying, Exodus uses a spell called Furor's Wind, which allows you to set a custom warp point. You'll notice that he has the spell on the B button via Bottle Adventure. This is important because otherwise the spell can only be placed inside dungeons. After setting his warp point in Lon Lon Ranch, Exodus enters the Fire Temple's blue warp, but casts Furor's Wind to go back to his custom warp point at the same time. This sets the base entrance value to Lon Lon Ranch, which the game adds 7 onto, triggering a new rung warp. This is the result. A rung warp directly into the credits, cutting out the final major bottleneck, the light arrows. Finally, this game seemed completely solved. When this was found, I'm sure Akrite was bashing his skull against the wall, because he came tantalisingly close to discovering this 3.5 years earlier. Here's a video from Akrite from the 27th of December 2008. If only he had bothered to test this in the Fire Temple, he would have discovered rung warping way back then. But oh well. ZFG led the charge to optimise the game with this new route. Here's a clip from the end of his 51-53 run, set 2 days after the initial credits warp discovery, but using a modified method found by Sockfolder. As you can see, he performs the credits warp from Dodongo's Cavern rather than the Fire Temple. It turns out the 3 child dungeons can also be used for rung warping, because they too set the scene setup value. Now, I'm sure some people out there will be skeptical about this whole credits warp thing. Is it really beating the game if you just warp directly into the credits? You don't even need to see the final boss. These issues were being discussed back then in 2012. Ultimately, the credits warp was accepted as a valid method of beating the game, but not everyone fully agreed. However, these disagreements would not need to last long. People have been saying for many years that they think OOT is finally solved, that they don't expect any more major discoveries to come. No doubt many people were thinking that at the time of the credits warp discovery, but it couldn't be further from the truth. The full potential of the rung warp is yet to be discovered. In mid-April 2012, Rob Dog was looking through the entrance table when 2 very interesting entries caught his attention, 252 and 256. 252 is the Deku Tree basement, part of the first dungeon in the game. It refers to this door, which is in the very same room as the blue warp. The next entry, 256, is the Tower Collapse interior, part of the final dungeon in the game. As previously mentioned, the Deku Tree is capable of rung warping, so theoretically you could enter this door and the game would add on the necessary value to hit the Tower Collapse interior. This theory was tested by Sockfolder, and sure enough, it worked. Doing this is even faster than the credits warp. You don't even need to become Adult Link at all with this route. On the 14th of April 2012, ZFG became the first person to complete a full run of OOT without ever becoming an adult, using this new wrong warp.
I got it! Here we go.
One concern about this wrong warp is that by using it you skip collecting the Master Sword, which is required to deal the final blow to Ganon. But luckily enough, Ganon knocks the Master Sword out of your hand at the start of the fight, despite never actually obtaining it, and then you can pick it up to deal the final blow.
And now I have the actual Master Sword as child. And with the Adult Links, oh, done. That was like 35-12. The very first beating Ocarina of Time as child on console without cheats, ever.
The fact that you're given the Master Sword like this is so much of a coincidence, and so perfect for the heavily glitched route, that it almost feels like it was by design. As a matter of fact, so does the entrance table containing the first and last dungeon right next to each other. If this didn't happen, purely by chance, the wrong warp glitch to Ganon's castle never would have worked. Anyway, looking back at the graphic, I'm not even going to bother updating this old one, let's just bring a new one in. It now looks more like this. All you need is to collect a bottle, and then go to the Deku Tree so that you can use it to perform the wrong warp. After wrong warping, you need to go through the tower collapse sequence, which takes a few minutes, and then beat the final boss. By this point, the game had been absolutely destroyed, and the race was on to optimise the category. One perceptive player called Choco Pop-Tart seized his opportunity to quickly claim a free world record, and he secured his place in OOT history. But he was promptly beaten again by ZFG on the same day. ZFG then traded the record with SVA, and Cosmo Wright.
Boom! New world record.
But ZFG ended his any percent career after this 21:45 run on the 7th of March 2012. SVA also stopped playing any percent seriously, and so did Cosmo Wright. Well, for the time being at least. Over the next 1.5 years, all of the optimisation was done by Pydoix and Macaron. Macaron actually played on Emulator, which gave him a slight disadvantage due to slower loads and more frame drops. He was the first player to ever hold the record on Emulator on the 8th of October 2012. During the following period, 2 more glitches were found that made significant changes to the route, but also made it significantly harder. Both were found by a glitcher called Glitches and Stuff. The first was found on June 10th, 2013. Here, Glitches and Stuff shows that it's possible to skip most of the lengthy tower collapse sequence by falling down the tower and hitting into a loading zone. This method was not viable for humans, but Sockfolder discovered a method for humans. Sockfolder showed that you can use a frame-perfect trick to gain super speed from a falling rock. This is called a hat, and it's usually done with bombs, but as we don't have bombs, a rock has to do as a substitute. With the correct angle and positioning, you can then clip through the railing and fall down into the loading zone below, saving close to 2 minutes. But this trick is by no means easy, and it became the most notorious in the run, for being a big run killer right at the very end. This trick is known as Void Warp, because you void out at the same frame as hitting the loading zone, which is why Link appears out of bounds after the loading transition. The other relevant discovery, also from June 2013, is this frame-perfect backflip to clip outside of the boss room whilst fighting Goma.
Backflip? Okay, good.
This strategy skips some backtracking, but it takes a lot longer to kill Goma. Overall, it saves around 7 seconds. After 1.5 years of domination from Pydoix and Macaron, a familiar face finally took the record back. Cosmo Wright, with a 1915 run.
1915.
But there was actually something particularly unique about this run. Notice the text? It's actually Chinese text, not Japanese. This record, from the 22nd of August 2013, was the first record to be set on the iQ player. The iQ is an obscure console that was only released in China, but it is an official Nintendo console. Alec Kermit was the first player to bring this system to the attention of speedrunners in 2011. He found that the IQ's Chinese text is even faster than Japanese text, and that also, the IQ has far less FPS slowdown in intensive areas. Cosmo was the first runner to make the money investment into the IQ, as well as the time investment required to take the record with it. He estimated that the IQ saved around 13 seconds over the Wii Virtual Console. However, the game was not yet that optimised that the IQ was required to take the record. This was demonstrated by a Virtual Console player, Skater82297, when he took his first untied record on the 19th of February 2014. Unfortunately, he just missed out on the elusive sub-19 due to a missed final slash. But at this point, the game was looking close to extremely optimised. An insane run was looking like it would be around the 1845 mark. And in early 2014, during a drunk stream, Cosmo Wright let his fans know that he had his eyes on the insane time.
Ocarina of Time, I will go for the fucking 1845. That's right, 1845. So I'm gonna fucking grind that shit out. I'm gonna get fucking 1845 on the IQ and fucking kill that fucking category. Kill that shit, man. Kill that shit. Fucking King of Ocarina of Time, baby. I'm gonna do that shit.
But nobody could have expected what was to come. Cosmo began his grind, and it only took 1 month for him to take the record, with the first sub-19 on the 17th of March 2014. Nice. This run was not as good as Skater's 19-minute run in terms of the actual gameplay, but the IQ's advantage allowed Cosmo to take the record. This actually caused a bit of controversy. Some people weren't happy about Cosmo using the IQ, saying that it inhibits competition. But most people eventually came to terms with the fact that it's an official version, so it's absolutely fine to use.
Cool. This is sub-19 pace now. Alright, 1856. I can save 5 seconds escape. I can save 6 seconds Kakariko. I can save 2 seconds Goma. Actually, maybe more. And not much else. So I want to still get under 1845.
13 seconds to save and not much else, he said. But is that true? Cue the next group of optimizations. On March 25th, 2014, Bluebyblah uploaded this video. He showed a humanly viable method to skip past Mido, who usually requires the sword and shield to get past, as well as a lengthy conversation. 6 days later, on the 31st of March, GCTK24 uploaded a very interesting video showing a new any percent route that had been theorised. The route would make use of Mido skip to skip collecting the sword entirely until the very end. He estimated this to save 6 seconds, which actually turned out to be a bit more, but the requirement of the difficult Mido skip and a few other changes made this route much harder. And speaking of things that made the route much harder, there was another strategy also developed in early 2014, which Cosmo Wright mentioned in his drunk speedrun plans video shown earlier.
Given any random direction, which is based on the falling rock, I'm going to figure out exactly what the percent chance is that you can do an no setup Hess into the corner to hit the loading zone. I'm going to figure out the percent chance of that happening, which would save a lot of time. And I'll kind of take the percent chance of that actually working versus the amount of time it would save, and I would kind of weigh it against see if it's actually worth it and see if I want to actually roll the dice. And if I actually want to roll the dice, then I'm gonna fucking grind out those fucking runs, man. I'm gonna get the fucking 1845.
This is the trick that Cosmo was talking about, demonstrate.
Alright, it's been almost 3 hours of just relentlessly just gold farming. I made a little over 100 gold, I feel like, in this stream here, so yeah. Maybe I'll probably do this off stream, honestly, but yeah, we got world bosses live tomorrow, yeah, I think. Yeah. tomorrow I'll do world bosses in Oni, and we got Molten Core in 3 days, so I imagine these will like line up to also be back up by the time Molten Core is up. I'll also have all the other world bosses to do again on Molten Core reset on Tuesday. That'll be a day after my birthday. I'm gonna be 30 on August 5th here. I probably won't even play. I don't know if I'll play WoW on that day. I'll probably play like a multiple mixture of other games that I've played, like speedrun games, maybe some N64 or like some GameCube emulators type of deal. I don't know if I'll try and put up with trying to play Blinks the Time Sweeper. That was like one of my favorite games as a child, but like it's just it ain't there. Like, well, the emulator is like really slow. Like I lose so much frames trying to play that game for some reason. I don't know. I don't think it's my computer's fault, like, because I'm able to play like GameCube games, which I'd imagine were like on the same level as like first Xbox, if not maybe better in terms of graphics. And like I can play GameCube games fine, but it's like some of these Xbox emulated games are super wonky to play on computer. But yeah, I call it a day. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks one dude that subscribed to the stream. And we'll call it a day.